3, showtime. So she's not a lesbian, or she is a lesbian?
No, she is a lesbian.
Okay. Well,
She
great
not
way to start. If your church is got a cash app, there it is.
There it is.
1, 2, 3, showtime. Or have a choice in your mindset is part luck.
Really? Everybody ain't got Canada rules, man.
One, two, three, showtime.
Welcome, everybody, to the Gasmasktribe TV podcast where we filter out that bull. I am your host, Notice the real one, and we are happy Monday, guys. Happy Monday, and I like to bring in, as you guys know, Miss Cat. What up, Miss Cat? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Cat? No. Cat, Miss Cat, CH. Can you hear me? I don't think she can hear me. But everybody, thank you for tuning in to the Gasmasktribe TV podcast where we filter out that bull. We have a great show on tonight. Karen loves racism, and pastors are hustlers. It's Mindset Monday, everybody. You know, do what you do best and either come in and join the convo or tap in. You know what I mean? Share your likes and your comments. It's been a crazy weekend. Everybody's getting back to school, getting their kids back to school. I know out here, kids went back to school, their first day back to school. Pencils, supplies then went up since I've been in school. I mean, yeah, it's been well over 15 years since I've been in grade school, but geez, Louise, I'm talking about prices of pencils and pens and backpacks and stuff. They want an arm and a leg, but nonetheless, we got it done. And it is what it is. So, Cat, Miss Cat, can you hear me, Cat? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? No? Are you pranking me, Miss Cat, right now? No? I don't think she Miss Hertz. You can't hear me, huh? I don't think she can hear me, Biz. I'm not sure what's going on over there. But anyway, I hope everybody had a blessed weekend. I hope everybody had a safe weekend. Because it is crazy out there. It seems like murder rates is going up. It seems like everybody is cracking down on stuff. And you know what? Just in breaking news for all you Trump supporters out there, your boy got raided. His house in Mar-a-Lago in Florida was raided. And I'm going to tell you like this. It does not look good for the Trump supporters out there. Not to get political, but it doesn't look good. Oh, you got it on, my guy.
Finally got it, man. I was going through some. I'm like, man, why my shit is like fluttering, it's tripping, but I don't want to stop the convo. Let me let you. I don't want to stop the convo.
Going on, man. It is what it is. Last show I had Wi-Fi issues. I'm like, y'all gonna do an outage right in the middle of my freaking right in the
Yeah,
middle of the
your shit
contrast.
look good. Like you got that 20G. You know what I mean?
That's just that okay. You know what I mean?
It's just that okay.
That's okay.
It's just that okay.
Yeah, I mean, ain't no like UK said, ain't no food stamp Wi-Fi over here, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Oh
man,
man,
people.
it's
So I'm. What was you guys? You know, did you guys? I know it's only been 5 minutes into the show, but
I was Cat. I don't think Cat can hear me, so I was trying to get her attention, but I can hear her, but I don't think she can hear me. So
okay, yeah, there is some like issues going on with this thing.
she popped out and popped back in. So we'll see.
Unmute yourself, Miss Cat. You there? No. You can hit the mute button that's there. It's telling me I can't. You know,
Yeah,
but
I'm sure she got. But did you hear
who
about your boy though? You hear about
who
your boy
who?
Trump?
Yeah, well, me and Cruz were just talking about it,
It's crazy.
and I was like, you're not going to be able to get what you want out of a businessman because he does not think like a politician. So I mean I don't care how like
It had to be
politicians
something.
leave shit laying around. A
It had to
businessman
be
don't.
It had to be
Huh?
significant though. In order for them to issue a warrant to go search, especially from FBI or the judge to issue a warrant, it had to
Has to
be
be evidence, my guy.
yes.
We know that, but don't just like okay. Let's not let's take away from Trump being Trump. People, thank y'all so much. Welcome to the show, Gasmasktribe TV podcast, where we filter out that bull. I am your host, along with my other host, and what's soon to be. We're gonna have a conversation after this podcast, but looking to soon to be the next host on the show, Miss Cat, and we're looking to get um Miss Maggie. So, you know what I mean? And we're going to venture off because I'm going to get back to the Trump ordeal, but we're going to venture off into having two other shows. There's two other shows that's breaking off from this. And we now
Hello?
have the actual
Yeah.
Biz Entertainment
Okay, I was like,
channel.
I can't. I can hear
Yeah,
you
we can.
now.
So the Biz Entertainment channel, if you're now watching right now, we do stream live on the Gas Mask Tribe page, but that page is literally clips of the Gas Mask Tribe show. So if you're watching it there, you know, awesome to you.
Did you
But
guys
the Biz
start?
Entertainment page would have our long length of videos, more content, of course. And also, people, thank y'all so much for actually tuning in. I don't think I ever really do that enough. I think I do, but I
Yeah.
can't do it enough. You know, really thank you guys for tuning in. Really appreciate you guys. Tonight we're talking about the Karens, love racism, and we're talking about pastors. You know what I mean? We're gonna have this conversation tonight. Um, to get back to that Trump ordeal, my guy, I have this. I could be wrong about this, right? We all can. You know, we heard you. We can hear you good.
Yeah. Yeah. Cat,
Just
are you receiving us?
I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you too. Now,
Oh,
now.
oh, you just can't hear me. Can you hear me? Am I good? Do I need to turn up? I probably need to turn
No,
up.
you good. You good. You solid.
Check, 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 check,
I can't
check.
hear anybody else but you.
But
Oh,
me.
Yes, I can only hear you.
Oh, that's what
oh
you
wow.
talking about. The soul ties.
Yeah,
But
and like his
definitely,
thing
like,
is circling around. I can't see him.
Really?
what? Cake Fresh in the building. What? Gang,
There's what's
gang, gang,
happening.
gang, 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 gang. What the fuck?
That's crazy.
What's up, Miss Susan? How are you? Finally, I'm catching an episode, Biz. Hey, tonight's gonna be a great episode. You know what I mean? This is where we hang out and all that good stuff, man. We go hang out, have a good time. Hey, y'all make sure y'all grab y'all drinks and all that good stuff. And if you guys
Ay,
want
ay,
more content, like
ay.
we really go in depth. Me and Notice is gonna go in depth, more in depth next week on the endeavor. So we generally make this podcast where we just kind of be free spirit, free thought, free everything. But then on our biz entertainment website.com, that's where .net, that's where you be able to see the actual content that me and him are studying, going through things, breaking it down for everybody. So that's a little bit more thorough. But that content, I feel people want needs to pay for it, right? Because we actually working. You know what I mean? We actually getting down to the nitty gritty. This is
The
so you guys get to
guns.
understand who we are. The Gas Mask Tribe podcast, where we our life's BS. You know what I mean? K first, thank you, man. Hey, who's that? UK?
It's been a
I
minute.
had a phone call. I'm here. We know you always here, my guy. He said, "Oh yeah, what happened to Angel? Man, great things happen, man. She just had bigger adventures, man, bigger
Saw.
endeavors. You know what I mean? She has bigger endeavors, man. She's onto some great things. So we just send great blessings to her and
That's
to
true.
her and her family and all that good stuff.
Right.
Yeah, tonight we're actually talking about it, man. Man, I feel like my camera is so fucking like foggy as shit.
Blurry.
Yeah, I'm using a new camera, y'all. So
It
give me
is. You got.
time. I gotta work out this focus thing a little bit. You know what I mean?
You should have an autofocus, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah. But people, we're talking about it. We're talking about the Karen. Susan, I know you're not a Karen. You know what I mean? I've even hung out with you. You my nigga. You know what I mean? You the homie, Susan. You ain't a Karen. You know what I mean?
so
But
Biz, what is the definition of a fucking Karen?
Cameron seems fine, bitch. Oh, look, see what I mean? Hey, see, Susan. Okay, let me tell you. Definition. Everybody, I feel everybody may have their own definition, but to me, the definition of an actual Karen is just someone who actually claims false claims, who like, oh, he's beating me, oh, he's slapping me, and the motherfucker ain't even doing shit. Pretty much a person who claims something. She's always quick to identify the black guy as the big black 6 foot angry black guy, right? And that's something that I feel that woman loves racism, right? She's quick to use her card, you know, to get what she needs or get what she wants. Right? She could get a man locked up. She could get a man killed. She can even have a man hung like Emmett Till.
Right.
So, people, this is something that we really have to really, get adjusted here, right? And I don't think everyone has, I think people are unknown, right? They don't know what they're doing, right? They just think they're just claiming that this person is evil, but they don't know that they're hurting families, right? Like Karen don't know that she's hurting families. You know? Like she's hurting the new generation who's coming up in her and now going to be afraid of white people or white women. You know what I mean?
I think.
And
I think she. I think they know. I think they just don't care. They're selfless. I mean, they're selfish. They're very selfish because in my book there's two Karens, right? There's the one person who
that's true,
uses
Karen.
they use their
That's
white
true.
privilege.
That's true.
They utilize white privilege, the white woman privilege, and then you have the other Karen. Like if they're of a different, let's say you have a Mexican Karen or you have a black Karen, because those are Karens too. Now they're utilizing their womanhood, or they're just using the situation to their advantage for no reason, for no reason at all. And that would be my two definitions of Karen. You got the one that uses white privilege just because they can, because they see you walking with the dog off leash or something like that, or see you just posted up, just taking a second to breathe at McDonald's, and they're like, "Why are you parked here?" So there are those are my two definitions, and I could be wrong. But entitlement, right? The right, K Fresh, the sense of entitlement, no matter regardless of who or what you're doing, or what or who you're doing. Excuse me. However that goes.
Also, Susan said Karens are also minimum intellect, has minimum intellect. You know what I
Also,
mean?
intellect.
Yeah. But and we have a video that I wanted to expound. I actually wanted you to actually break the story. I've seen a link to you, and I got a couple of videos I want to expound on tonight. But people, thank y'all so much for tuning in. It's the Gas Mask Tribe TV podcast where we filter out that bull. We're gonna get right into it. K Fresh, feel free to join in on this conversation, man. We're gonna really get into it tonight. We're talking about the pastors and we're talking about the Karens. I think pastors and Karens kind of have the same ideal, but that's crazy. We'll get into that later on. Gas Mask Tribe TV podcast. We filter out that
Bull.
bull, and we'll be right back. Here's our first video of the night, people. Gang, 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 gang.
No, no. What's the question on this one? 'Cause, I mean, what is the question?
So if you guys just tuning in, it's the Gas Mask Tribe TV podcast. So what we like to do on the podcast, on the Gas Mask Tribe TV, we like to expound on the video and then we put the question for the video. So we like to see what's your thoughts on the video. Then we have a question that follows up with that, and I'll put the question in the description right now. So, but yeah, I'll let this go. Miss Cat, what you think?
Hashtag hot mess. Is this a spoof? That's the first thing. Is this like a YouTube spoof? Because this can't be. I know this is not real because I've never heard of that artist.
Oh my god.
Is it a spoof?
I am embarrassed to be black right now.
That is.
I mean, this has to be like a spoof, right?
Oh my god!
Because I know like a lot of Christian artists, like, so I'm just assuming this is like a spoof that somebody like put out there to show like, okay, this is what gospel music is coming to, right?
You fucking lying. It gotta be. It better be.
Yeah,
That's
because
embarrassing. I wanted to go get some bleach right now and clean my whole body like I left us watching that motherfucking video. Golly.
well, but you guys know what? Like the crazy thing is when you go to like those like the Grammy Awards and like the BET Awards or whatever that just aired last month, that gospel piece from Kirk Franklin. I love you, Kirk. Promise, mean it. But no, you got regular dancers up on stage. They were getting crunk, right? It's just no.
I mean, did you hear what she said? She said, Jesus, I'm dropping low for
Yes.
Jesus. What the hell? Jesus don't want to see you drop shit.
Yeah. And I think it was a spoof. I don't think that was like a real.
She said, I'm gonna be up at the pearly gates. Know that you're gonna be in hell. No.
So Miss Susan said, could be cat, but you never know these days. That was a sacrilege.
Sacrilege.
Say it one more time.
Also, yeah, I'm gonna play it one more time. Can someone mute their? I'm getting a little feedback here. Can someone mute their mics? UKTA said, oh no, is you feeling any better? Oh man, we're getting laughs on this. You know what I mean? Everybody's like crazy joking on this. We're gonna play the video one more time, just for
One
a
more
second,
time.
just
Oh
for
my-
one split second. We're not gonna get too crazy. You know, we have Maggie here. Hello, Maggie. How are you?
Love for Jesus.
I've seen
How
better
you
days.
doing, Maggie?
Been all right.
Hey,
That's
look,
right.
front. I thought your thumb was a dildo just now. You almost fucking. Your thumb was
My
so big.
thumb?
Yeah, because you had it in the camera for a hot second. I was like, what the fuck? What was that?
And you just knew it was a dildo. Fuck with me, huh?
No, dude, see, you might.
Okay.
Mine's always been about that. No disrespect.
Oh, for Jesus. Keep it dropping for Jesus. In the club.
Ah, she said dirty wine.
Yeah, when she said dirty wine, she loved it. Throw it over. Throw it away. You are.
Hold on, don't forget. Won't he do it? Ah, shit. I'm just saying. What are we at in our lives now? I got a video that follows this up. You know what I mean? It's gonna get a little serious on the Jesus stuff. But Miss Maggie,
Yes.
notice opinions before I bring the questions.
Give her, for they do not know what they do. Lord Jesus. Go ahead, Maggie.
Opinions in regards to that clip you just showed us right now, where they dropping it low for Jesus. Dude,
Throwing it back for the Lord.
I just feel like that's not necessarily how you represent him. He don't want to hear that. He don't. I don't feel like he want to see you dropping it low. Like there's a time and place for everything, and I just feel like when you're praising the Lord, it's you're not dropping it low.
Or drinking dirty wine.
Or right.
What the fuck is dirty wine? What is dirty wine? I don't even understand that concept. Like, what is
It's
that?
a like a Jamaican roster term for like dirty wine. You know what I
You
mean?
know, you know what
Dirty wine. It's like winding, like she's moving her
It's
hips
like
and
a
she's
dance.
winding.
You
Right, it's
want
a dance.
my mind went
So that
straight.
even makes it,
I thought it was.
huh?
I thought it was prison wine. But you said dirty wine.
Oh, you thought it was Pruno?
Yeah, yeah. When she said dirty, I'm like dirty wine.
Um,
Was
you know, I mean, I didn't want to cut anybody off. Y'all, y'all was still talking. But go ahead, go ahead. I'll let y'all go. I'm gonna put the question right here, but go ahead. I'll let y'all get it. It
uh,
said Maggie's room is too damn white. Gotta wear some sunglasses in there.
is
This
it?
fool. Don't worry about them, Maggie. Them fool- Hey, don't worry about them. That's just the tribe talking. But yeah, your thoughts. Well, I'll give mines. It's just so maybe this to be a fire starter. But check. This just shows you the fuckery in. I'm gonna be straight up. This shows you the fuckery in religion, right? And because in the Bible, he didn't say follow religion. He said be spiritual, but don't follow no religion. And people always question me on that. Biz, what is that? Blah 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 blah. And I always say, I'm like, look, I'll do you better than this. Google the shit, right? And that would even serves you better because Google pull up the shit easily. But he does say don't follow religion, follow me.
or
Pretty
any
much
false idols.
be spiritual, right? And I can see how that people always use this in a way of. Oh, I'm getting a lot of feedback. Hold
Maggie's phone.
on. But you know what I mean. But like a lot of people may take this wrong, but a lot of the things that we're into is doctrinated to us, right? A lot of the things that we're into is literally doctrinated. As far as religion, that's a doctrinated thing, right? It's a doctrinated man-made thing, right? No one told you to show up on church every Sunday. That's a ritual that's done in Rome. Pretty much it came from there, right? And a lot of people may not see that. That's a Catholic thing. A lot of Christianity churches are run just like Catholic churches. It just has two different vibes. I put it like that. But the same thing, you pay your tithes in the church, you pay your taxes. That's what that fucking is. That's the you pay it. But anyway, and sometimes we don't look at that as like this is fuckery. We don't look at that as like this is real. Like when it gets to this point, she was serious. I want y'all to know she is serious. That's a serious song that's out. That was a serious video. That was a serious artist taking her craft serious.
Mm. I thought that was I thought it was a spoof, but
Yeah, get
What's the
pranked.
difference? Hey, what's the difference in Kanye doing it? Right? What's the difference?
well,
He's doing
I mean,
songs with wait.
Kanye has a gospel
Wait, let me
CD
explain.
out.
Let me
Kanye's
explain.
not dropping it.
Well,
Let me
Kanye has a
explain.
gospel
Let me
CD out, and it's actually very, very good, to be honest. And a lot of people who are Christians that judged him never even heard the CD. I have the CD, Jesus is Born, not the second one, but the first one. It's very, very good, and it's very spiritual. And I think it'll bring a lot of people who didn't normally know about God or want to even be a part of that
Right.
whole thing closer to God because they see him on a different platform, and he's drawn in a
Right.
different type of crowd that normal Christian people wouldn't be able to draw in. But
Right,
that's
sis.
not Christian. That's somebody who's trying to
No, okay.
just come up.
Right, sis. But what I'm saying is when Jesus Walk came out, Jesus Walk was
Well,
a
that wasn't a Christian
act-
song.
No, oh, what?
Hope
That was
so.
not a Christian. That was not on any gospel
Whoa,
station.
whoa, 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 whoa. Do y'all know who Andy Mano is?
Yeah.
Do y'all know who Lecrae is?
I know Lecrae.
So okay, you guys, you guys don't know who uh Andy Mano, my other guy, man, he sound like Drake. This dude sounds like Drake, but gospel rap. Like if you guys don't understand, like gospel rap and gospel music have like turned a whole nother level. These cats are coming like the Kendricks, the Drakes, the like they really pressing the issue and they're good. Like
Yeah, I know.
they're
Yeah.
fucking good. Like no lie. So I would not ever like say that, oh well, that's not because you listen to it and it sounds secular. It sounds like Jesus walked. You get what I mean? Well, people would knock it because they would say, "Oh, well, that's not totally Christian because you're not saying worship God and you're not saying praise." But that's not what it like. That's not what it means to be like. That's not what it means to be a worship album, right? To worship someone is to actually talk about them, to show honorability. I mean, honorable admiration is what I'm trying to say, right? And to show, you know, what I mean, dedication, to show commitment, to show like blase blase, like I'm here, right? This is what Christianity is, right? It's to show that I'm for God and God only. I'm for Jesus and Jesus only, right? Blase blase. But wait. When you hear a lot of the art, huh?
Jesus walks with just poetic secular music. It
Yeah,
wasn't
that's
like
not a Christian song. That wasn't listed under Christian
Okay,
album.
okay, that's crazy. That's crazy. Because you know they've performed this song in churches. Do you know Lady Gaga songs?
no, no,
Wait,
no,
wait,
no.
wait. Lady Gaga
Be,
records.
be clear. They haven't performed the song. They used the beat and they
No,
used
they
the
didn't.
chorus.
They used.
The
Come
chorus.
on,
And
my
the
God,
chorus.
right?
Walk.
Dude, I am a big Kanye fan, and what I'm telling you, what I saw, how Jesus walked, broke fucking barriers. When people they said it, they told me that a Jesus record would never make it. A Christian record would never make it.
And that's
Like
why he did it, to show that yes, it can. But
so,
here's
that's what
the
I'm.
thing though.
Go
There's
ahead.
different. I was just going to chime in on what you said about Christian music, because there's not always Christian music. There's also spiritual music. There's gospel music. There's different genres. So, and you can also have, just like that song, "Cause I'm Happy." They played that at churches, but that's not a Christian song. So
Absolutely.
it doesn't have to be a Christian song to be Christian music, if that makes sense. As long as it's talking about love, or it's talking about happiness, or if it's talking about the fruits of the spirit, then that is a good song. There's nothing wrong with it. Now, when you get into, if it's a gospel song, gospel just means the gospel is within the song. Like there's spiritual scriptures in the song. That's
The word
gospel
of
music.
God in the song. The word of
Yes.
God in the song.
Okay, okay.
Christian music,
So wait.
Can be
Hold that.
Christian rock, Christian rap,
Okay,
Christian
okay.
R&B, Christian jazz. It's a
Wait,
very
wait.
broad spectrum.
So okay, I got you. I got you. You have you heard of Mighty Clouds of Joy?
Yes.
All right. Have you heard of Jackson Southern Airs?
Yes. Those are
Gospel keynotes.
old people.
Yes, gospel keynotes.
The
Right?
yes.
Like I'm bringing up like some Five Blind
Old
Boys. I'm bringing
school.
up some right. I grew up on this old school quote unquote Kojic gospel, right? And
But
they were using records from like popular music that was already running. They was using it in gospel churches, right? And they weren't putting scriptures inside the record. They were just changing the lyric form just to match the element of the place they were in. You
mhm.
get what I mean? What's her name? Kimberly. What's her name? I
Kendra.
want to say, right. Another one. She
She's
would take
jazz. She does gospel jazz music. Her stuff is very jazzy.
but to speak of the gospel is to speak of the great things of who Jesus was, right?
Correct.
That's what I'm saying. There's not so much as pertaining scriptures in it, right? So when we say Christian, it's just a Christian person who's doing music. That's why they would pertain it or quote unquote call it a Christian artist or a Christian record or whatever the case may be. What you call it was not so necessarily a Christian artist, which is
Who?
Kanye. I'm saying Kanye, he
Well,
wasn't necessarily at that time. Listen, at that
correct.
time, he wasn't necessarily a Christian artist. He had Christian values and
Correct.
you know what I mean, and belief system, right? But most people would say, "Oh, but he was falling by the wayside and going to clubs and blah 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 blah, whoop, whoop, whoop," right? But then he does this this whole little thing where he goes on this big rant and he started doing these church things. And I knew exactly what he was doing, right? And people couldn't see the fuckery because I understand like how you can. It's like black women, right? I can be on here and be like, black women are queens. Black women, they never did nothing wrong. And black men shut the fuck up and do what they need to do and handle their shit. Oh my God, I'll blow up tomorrow, right? Because it's
You might want to consider that. No, I'm just kidding. Speak well of us, and we may help you out. Like,
right, but you look at that as like Christian churches, right? If I was to go and I become like this face for Christian churches, you're literally going to surpass so much, and the money value in it just so crazy. Like the religious market is billions and billions and
exactly. And I was
billions of
going to say
dollars.
that, like, a lot of people are going to Christian music because Christian people are still buying CDs and buying the entire CD, where secular people, they're just buy one song and they'll YouTube it, or, stream it, and that's it. They're not going to buy a whole CD, where Christian people will still buy a whole CD. And it's a huge market. But here's the thing about, my opinion is, if anybody wants to sing or perform something that's positive, that's bringing people closer to their higher power, whoever they believe in, and making us a better society, I'm all for it. Because I'd rather hear that than hear them talking about killing us on the streets, shooting up their women, knocking up their neighbor, having 5 baby mamas, and making it like an anthem. I'd rather hear somebody talking about the good news, being happy, love, spirituality, because it makes us a better people, right or wrong.
Absolutely, I agree with you 110% for sure.
So,
Yeah.
And I'll tell you for sure, for a fact, when Kanye West, when Kanye West, or when he came out with Jesus Walk, that was well when he was young. That was way before he was like really, I can't say deep into church, because I'm pretty sure he was in church when he was trying to come up, but that was way before he was even a part of Rockefeller. You know what I mean? Or he was a big part of the dynasty. Yeah. So he had that song way before.
No. He was on. No, he was on. He was on. He had the rock chain.
Well, just like Snoop Dogg's.
What I'm saying,
when the Wire came out.
What I'm saying, but he had it before that, because he was trying to get that song on his album,
and they couldn't do it because it had Jesus in it. Yeah,
right. He just thought it was a dope song, which I think it was a dope song as well. But as far as his religious beliefs, I don't think his religious beliefs came out into full effect until after his mom passed. That's when I think that he really jumped after he went to rehab for drinking and all that stuff, and he jumped into rehab, and then with the church.
Yeah,
obviously him and all that, and then tried to settle down. So yeah, I mean, and then speaking of fucking Kanye West, can you believe that Pete Davidson shit and Kim K? Oh my God! Oh, I know it.
No one knew that was.
I called that.
We talked about that a couple.
Y'all knew that was he was a rebound.
We talked about that a couple weeks ago. Remember?
Right. I fucking called it. You're right. We did. I fucking said it. I said out there. I give it max at 6 months. It didn't even last fucking.
I just told you. I said, like, you never know, and I pray that their family gets reconciled back together, because that's really, they have kids. That he loves her. She loves him. They just need to fix whatever was broken. But
there's nothing broken. The only thing that was broken was Kim Kardashian's way of thinking. She didn't want to be hauled around from house to house with Kanye West. She didn't want to be a wife. That's all it was. All it was. Now
I don't know. We can't.
That's her words verbatim. That's her words verbatim. That's not my words.
She said she didn't want to be a wife.
Okay, she didn't say that, but everything.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
but that's what it was. She said, we have two different lifestyles. He has his thing, and I don't want to drag myself from state to state, from house to house with my kids, and always being watched and doing what he wants me to do. What is that called? That's called being a wife. Everything else she said, that's called, in my eyes, being a wife. So you don't want to be a wife, Kim, is what you're saying? And apparently not. She wasn't ready.
I know I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. All right. That brings me to my next question. I'm glad that was a good segue. That was a great segue. What is a wife in 2022?
But I love I love Kim and Kanye, and I just hope they work it out. That's the biggest thing I can say. But the
Sure.
Yeah,
hijacking of gospel
yeah,
music, I pray that it stops because
sure.
it's really really scary to see that all these secular artists are like, oh, I'm Christian, so let me go, drop a CD so I can make a couple mil, but then they're not living a life that is remotely representing what a Christian is. And so it's like they're hijacking the true Christians and hijacking that industry for fame and for money. And at the end of the day, they're going to be held accountable for it. So it's like nothing we can say or
I
do. We
got
don't have a heaven or hell to put them in, but there
okay.
is going to be consequences to that. And
Okay,
it's a
so
scary
check.
situation.
You right. You right. But check. I have a video. Some very very deep shit. Like some very
You
hot
guys hear me?
shit. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Am I
Oh, I
okay?
was like,
We can hear
everybody's
you.
quiet. But
No,
yeah,
And
I just
I've been on
twerking for
like
Jesus is
and
not, no, no, no.
but check.
It's not,
The
that's
the
not
shit
going to
that I've been
happen.
the shit that I've been literally
So,
looking at and I've been on
but
and
the song's
studying.
cool. I just wouldn't play it at church.
Right. Right. I got another video for you guys, but I've been on some high power shit. I'm gonna play some shit later on. That's gonna be very. Oh wow. So we got another comment. Say Kim, it's all
Kim is
about the
all about the
look.
look. Kanye will make cracks in the pavement.
She
Why
can't
are
hear
they
me, huh?
talking about Kanye like that?
She can't hear me, huh?
What is
She
Christian
probably can't hear
music?
me.
I don't think she can.
Yeah, she can't hear me.
Yeah, you hear Biz?
I can hear Biz.
I can't.
Yeah, yeah,
What
she
is?
can't hear me.
Yeah, so we
I
all can
don't
hear Biz.
know.
Your Wi-Fi in your hotel
It's,
What'd
is
he
that's
messed.
say?
He was
Oh,
about to play a video.
yeah, he keeps going into y'all missing each other. It's like two blind mice
it's
running
all
into
right.
each other. They're like, "Where's she at?" I said hi. She just passed you, my guy. Oh, where he at? They just passed each other. Like, oh my God, it's like
But I
watching the
got a
train.
deep video.
Like I
I
can't
got a
even
deep
see
video
him on
for
the
you.
screen. I just see a black screen for him. But you guys, I can see and hear.
It's I don't know. I don't know. I can see
Uh,
it here.
All right, so 1 second. So I do want to play this
Roll the
video. All
video.
right, I
Roll the
played
tape.
this video. I played this video last week, right? I mean, well, I think it was last week. Yeah, last week. But I didn't have the women expound on that, and I wanted the women to expound on this, right? And this is very, very intellect, very, 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 very insight. Here we go. Dance now.
Slide out the way one time. Roll with me on this. Ladies, do you know there's a difference between fighting for you and fighting over you? It ain't. Slide from. As a man, I don't mind fighting for you, but I refuse to fight over you. It still ain't. If we walking arm in arm, right, and somebody walks up and he gets disrespectful, oh, step aside, babe. I'm finna handle this. Because he need to watch his mouth. That's fighting for you. But if a man is giving you unwanted attention and you letting him in, you know how stupid I would be to fight over you? You, wow.
That's crazy. That's
Thoughts.
crazy.
Now, before you guys give your thought, include this question: what is a wife in 2022? On top of that,
Cat,
a white.
did you hear that, Cat? Or do you want me to reiterate it? Cat,
is she?
Now she can't hear you either.
she can't hear me
Right,
either.
she can't-
All right, I'll send her a message. Go ahead.
But so okay, first we'll deal with the fighting for you and fighting over you, right? And I've had people that have let's um I don't know.
All right, yeah,
So I'm not the person to fight over a woman. If your love is somewhere else, motherfucker, go.
Right.
But most of them would say that that's foul, and they would say that like you don't care, right? You don't care about me because you're not fighting over me, right? Like if you're tangled in between two, motherfucker, choose one. Matter of fact, don't choose one. Go with him. I'm good.
If you have to
I'm not.
choose.
Yeah, I'm not about to sit here and waste my fucking time and breath and like years trying to fight over something that's not capable of. Come on,
What
man.
age is it? What age biz is that? Is that your 18 or 19-year-old, 21-year-old, or is that the age you are
Well,
now?
for a man, it wouldn't really matter, right? I wouldn't give a
It
fuck.
kind of matters. It kind of matters. I think it does. I think only because I'll say this.
To fight over a woman, to
I'm
fight
just
over. Okay, let's not even make it a woman. To fight over someone whose love is already somewhere
yeah.
else.
Oh,
See
that's
that,
different.
that's the thing. That's the thing. A lot of men, a lot of young men, don't understand the difference. Well, because it's new to a lot of young men or men that never had anything, they will fight over that because it's like taking a bone away from a dog when it's hungry. It's like you're going to do whatever you can to protect that piece of something, even if that piece of something didn't even want to be there in the first place.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's just nature. Like it's hard for me to believe that any man wouldn't be like that. That doesn't have any love and attention. And a woman came to give him love and attention. She started giving that attention or love to someone else, and
No,
she openly does
I
it.
get.
He will not fight over her. I've been that person before, and in my mind I'm like, yeah, I'm calling myself. I don't even know why I'm here. I don't know why I'm doing this because clearly you want to be over here, and like then no, I love you still, but I love them and blah blah blah. They go over there. You know what I mean? So it's sometimes it has to do with maturity too in a man or a person. And what
Yeah.
is a wife in 2022?
No dude should be fighting over a woman who's already somewhere else.
I would agree
I
to an
agree.
extent. To an extent. But
We consider them simps.
So what do you call what about that episode in a different world? When she was getting married and he came running down the aisle like, marry me.
Who?
Is that fighting? The main characters.
Kadeem Hardison?
When Whitney was getting married to somebody else.
That's different because they had a history.
most people do have history. That's why they
Well,
fight.
I'm saying a history where he knew that she didn't get with him because he wasn't stepping up. There's a difference between a man who has stepped up and the woman's somewhere else versus a woman who wants you but you didn't step up, so she had to move on. So once he got to the point where he's like, okay, I want you, I'm here to be what you need me to be. Yeah, that's a good fight. That makes sense because they're letting her know, hey, I dropped the ball, but I'm picking it back up, you know. So that was, I think, a little bit of a different story.
You know
K
what I
Fresh,
learned? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll let you read that. Go ahead.
K Fresh. I feel what you said to an extent as well. Lots of men fight for their own ego, not even
Yeah.
a woman. I see. That's kind of like yeah. In today's time,
What
sure,
what
but
if
take
what if
back,
the ego is their woman?
huh?
What if the ego? What if they use the ego as their woman? Like,
What do you mean? Like
you know
the
what I mean?
part of the ego is having that woman?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, a lot of men, that's what it is.
I mean, you have to, that goes back to what I just said because there are some cats, some guys that like you brought up the statistic that a lot of men haven't even felt the touch of a woman before, right? That's statistically
Yeah,
true for a lot of
yeah.
their lives. So imagine taking that percentage, one of those percentage of the men, or let's take 100 of those men, and you give them a warm embrace and you give them some fuzzy nuzzy. You know what I'm saying? Once they get that, that is like I know you love my terminologies. Like,
Fuzzy
once
Nuzzy.
they
Fuzzy
get fuzzy
Nuzzy.
nuzzy, like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. Come on now, don't make me spell it out. But once they get that, who in their right mind will want to let that go or not fight over it, even if somebody was coming tried to take it and they were entertaining the thought? Because sometimes I believe women will play that fuckery game just to see if their man is man enough to hold them back. I know women like that.
I
I know.
think when you're younger, as a younger woman, maybe, but once you become a
Yeah,
mature woman, you're not doing stuff like that because,
yes,
like,
they
if you
are.
know you
These
got a good
podcast women
man,
still
you're not
doing it.
trying to be risking it because you
They
already know
still
there's
I guess
some.
it's all about
Hey,
emotional maturity, not necessarily your
Yes,
age.
I guess, yeah, emotional maturity because you're not going to do stuff like that if you know you have a good guy. Like, you're just not going to
Right.
risk it. It's too
You're
the
crazy.
climate right now is too.
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you like this: women like you and the way you're thinking right now is beautiful but rare. I'm sorry. There's a lot of these old head, messy ass women out here right now, and you know why the game is so fucked up? Because they keep passing that shit down. That's why
Mhm.
they keep passing that
and
fucking freight down, and then that's why.
and to roll with that, to roll on top of that, you be surprised. Mary J. Blige, Erica Badu, Regina Hall, like a lot of these older, successful, like popular women are getting with dudes who like 25, 22, like, like
Okay, they're
you know
cougars.
what I
What's
mean?
wrong with that?
Ain't nothing
As
wrong
long
with
as they love them.
Right, but they're not, but they're not attracting what they like really want. Dudes are not fighting over them for that, like you know what I mean? Because
Oh,
it's
okay.
past that.
Okay.
You know what I
So
mean?
you
Like
said
a younger dude would be like, hell yeah, ooh, I got the hottest motherfucker on the planet. Ooh, wee.
yeah, but do you know
You
why an
know
older
what?
woman would go after a younger guy?
Huh?
interesting
Do
question.
you yeah, do you know why an older woman would want to be with a younger guy? I mean, it's a much better experience, right? Like,
That's a question.
Because oh,
That
hey,
biz. We'll come back to the biz.
I'll give a shot at it. Huh?
No, no, I was saying
Huh?
that's an interesting question. I want to get to that, but yeah, go ahead, biz. No, no,
I
brought up.
Um, I'm because I'm gonna expound on that. UKTA says a lot of women like toxic relationships and think a normal relationship is boring. Facts,
And
facts.
Again, that
and
depends
biz,
on their emotional
maturity,
maturity.
yes.
biz
Yeah.
That
knows
that's
that I
A
was with.
woman does not want toxic. A girl does.
right.
Okay, okay. I guess I got to answer the question. Sorry, I got to ask the question. What is a woman then?
A woman is someone who knows what they want and they have goals and they're trying to get with someone who is goal oriented so that they can achieve whatever they need to achieve together. That's a
Okay,
woman.
so a prostitute and a stripper is not a woman.
If that what?
Okay,
That's
they
not
got
a lady. That's she's a woman, but is she a lady? I
okay.
would say not. She has
All right,
goals, you're right.
I know. You
And
just
she
switched.
probably won't be in a toxic situation because if she's a prostitute and she has goals, guess what? She's going out there. She's like, I'm making my money and I'm keeping it pushing. She's not going to get emotionally attached to any of the men because her goals are she's making that money, she's doing what she got to do, and she's keeping it pushing. She's not going to want toxicity because she's not there for that. So she still has goals and she's still
Man,
going to
their
get what she
pimps be
wants.
they boyfriends, and that should be toxic as hell.
But
I,
Okay,
yeah,
all I'm saying,
what I
and
think y'all missing? Oh, go ahead, notice because
all
I
I'm
go ahead.
saying is, and I could be wrong, and don't come from my head, is being a prostitute or being a stripper is toxic in itself. That's like jumping in a toxic pool and then say, hey, you know what? I'm the real one here. I'm the real one here. No, that shit don't work. Like how do you do that? Like I don't care how successful she might be, have a house, nice car, nice anything. Everything's in point. She pay for her kids. She don't need a man, but she's in a toxic ass job.
oh, job. Okay. I was like, well, wait, are we talking about
Occupation,
relationships or her job?
lifestyle. Yeah,
Okay,
occupation,
so
lifestyle. Like, and don't get me wrong. Yeah, yeah, men do the same thing. But we're able to brush, like, we go into toxic occupations, but we try to
uh,
come out of it unscathed, and we do those self sacrifices for our family. So
so
I think
uh, um I also want to add a lot of women like toxic relationship and think a normal relationship is boring. So what I take from this is a lot of women like men who are very alpha centric. You know what I mean? Who are attractive, who come off very like well they do good for themselves. They do well for themselves. They're attracted by a lot of women. Blah blah blah. Most women would kind of consider those men that's very toxic because they kind of have the world in their hands and they can kind of, they call them quote unquote male chauvinists or whatever the fucking case may be. When they would not be with the dude, or even they would happy for a long time with the guy who was just like coming home, rubbing your feet, blah 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 blah, until she reached a certain amount age to where she like, you know what, I just want a man who's gonna come home, rub my feet, right? But then she's like 35, 40 by that time. In her 20s, you know what I mean? She wanted like, you know what I mean, the trinkets and bells and Fendi and all the good shit. She wasn't selling it for no dude who just wanted to go to work and come back. She wanted the nigga who was like really getting it. You know what I
Right.
mean? And so I really get, you know, what he meant by that. You know what I mean? I can That's how I'm looking at it in a sense. Also Susan said, but there are plenty of women who are right and true. That's never change. Also R Jones said, how did these women get to be toxic?
And that's a fucking great question. Anybody would like to elaborate before I go in?
Well, it's not about women being toxic. It's well, it takes two people to be in a relationship. So a woman doesn't just pop into a relationship and go, "I'm going to be toxic here." No, it takes two people to create or destroy a
Well, I
relationship.
think she
Yeah,
re- I
I'd
think
say it was experiences. Good girl gone bad.
okay.
Some women were never good girls. Some men are never good guys. So it's two people have to make relationship is what those two people make it.
Now, I'm not saying one is better than the other, but I always looked at it as women mature faster than men, right? So
Some
a lot of men are broken into the world by women, right? By their mothers, they're learning different traits and blah blah blah, right? So they understand the first interaction with a woman's just with their mom, right? You know what I mean? And so if they see a certain type, because I'm about to play this video, if they see a certain type of woman, right, then they're less prone to go outside of that. Now I did, but most guys are less prone to go outside of that circle to pick anything different from what they seen, quote unquote, what we may think is toxic, you know, toxic familyhood or whatever the case may be. Right. And what I see is that not only men, yes, we could become toxic, but it comes from somewhere, right? It comes from somewhere. And we can't you, women call men toxic who have standards. I'm toxic now because I have standards, right?
mm,
Or I'm toxic because I don't like a woman looking a certain way, right? That makes me toxic. You know what I mean? It's always the man views and the man like, you know what I mean, how he maneuvers his life. Women may look at it as quote unquote toxic, right? But they never look at the women who are living well, who are living beautiful lives, who are living these extreme great lives, right? And they may be in bad relationships, but you don't hear toxic on their ass. You know what I mean? You don't hear toxic on the men because they're doing everything, quote unquote, as what women in society think a man should do.
Let me get at it,
And
Coach.
that's a very fucked up double standard. That's a very the man who is not doing that, or who's not on that level, he's not looked at as like, you know what I mean? Like he's more like, oh well, you're toxic because you have this way of thinking, you take the red pill and all this other bullshit, and that is more toxic than women. So I don't think people like to. Okay, he said, how did these women become so toxic? I think that comes from their mothers. You know what I mean? And men could only become toxic from that shit. Like, like if the fathers are not in the homes, then how the fuck are they toxic? If the fathers ain't in the home.
that's why a lot of people are toxic because they
Right.
never had a good male role
Mhm.
model. There's people that, like, for
So
example,
he's
you
wait, wait,
come.
wait. So he's wait. So he's toxic because he hasn't had a male role model.
Yeah, yes, there's a lot of men who don't know
Okay.
how to be husbands, who don't know how to be boyfriends, who don't know how to be
You don't
gentlemen
know how to be a man.
because they
Okay.
never
So check.
saw it.
I'm gonna enlighten you guys on one thing. There's not a blueprint on how to be a parent. Now there's guidelines on like what we think parenthood should be. Right? Kids should be clean. Kids should eat. Kids should blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? But there's no blueprint of how to be a parent. Right? No, I didn't get one. I got three of them, and I didn't get one. There's no fucking blueprint on how to like actually raise your child into You know what I mean? Oh, well, we're gonna raise society. There's no blueprint, right? Because every kid is different. I mean, every family is different. You know what I mean? And we raise our kids according to how we see fit,
The best
right?
of
Yeah, but we were talking about people being toxic in relationships, and
right.
people do
Right.
bring in their bad or
Hold on.
neglected upbringing into someone's life who may have had a great upbringing and who have a good plan or a good path of how to do stuff successfully, but because
Right.
they never had an example of it, they could totally come in and destroy that just because they
Right.
never had structure.
Okay, so I was playing ball with my son today, right? And I thought about it. Have I ever played football or basketball with my older uncles or or my great grandfather, right? Because my pops wasn't around. He had, committed suicide. But like,
I'm
I
sorry.
didn't do that with them. You know what I mean? I never had that. Like, we never done that. Like, play catch in the front yard. That was some shit I do with my cousins or some shit, right? Like, we didn't have that interaction of the quote unquote what fatherhood, what women think true fatherhood looks like, right? We didn't have that, right? I didn't have that, but I grew up a great dude, outstanding, know how to provide, know how to do this, and I was taught how to treat a woman through men, right? Men taught me how to, like, yo, don't do this, don't say that. The woman should know this. You ain't got to be all vulnerable, but be transparent. You know what I mean? A woman likes to lean on someone that she can really lean on. She don't want to hear a man talk about his fucking problems all day. I mean, definitely if he ain't doing something about it. You get what I mean? And so those are the things that, like, as and most women would say, "Oh, that's toxic," because you're not being open to your woman or being, you know what I mean? And those things that I feel we may have, you know what I mean? Women look at toxic a different way and men look at toxic a different way. And someone said in the comment that both are toxic. And whether we may look at it, that's what I was getting to earlier. Like, we're both toxic, whether we may look at it or not. You know what I mean? I just think men get it from somewhere. We have to receive that, just like women do, right? But we get that from the women. You know what I mean? That
And I think you touched on a point that was great, and I touched the fact that what our Jones said, both are toxic. I also um wanted to put it out there as how did they get toxic. I think it's just like any addiction, like cigarettes, drugs, alcohol. All these things are food, fast eating. All these things are actually toxic to ourselves, literally toxic to ourselves. And I think we get into these relationships with just like we do with a person, bit by bit, just like we do food or liquor. Because when you first time you try alcohol, that shit was nasty, wasn't it? Every time the first time you smoked a cigarette or you smoked a blunt, that shit wasn't good. That was a learned behavior over time when you started picking up drinking, or if you started to smoke. It's the same thing when it comes to a relationship. So yeah, when Arjun said you wasn't born that way, right? You wasn't. It was a learned behavior. Something in your family or your mom, your aunties, your uncles, your brothers, your dad that you picked up along the way, and you became toxic along the way. And you learned these behaviors, and then because no one was there to correct them or to set you straight on a better path, you grew them. It just grew. It was another addiction that grew inside of you that you portrayed, or excuse me, not portrayed, but that you protruded out and started putting on to other people, starting with your first relationship or your late relationship with the person or your best friend or anything of that nature. That fuck it. Let's say your dog. A lot of people think they want animals and can't even fucking raise an animal correctly, but yet alone want to be in a relationship. That's when I'm talking about when it comes down to being toxic. You got to break it down like that. I know I'm like the uncle that sit there and come and breaks the shit down, but that I think we have to look at it from that standpoint because it's just like everything else. Ice cream. You eat too much ice cream, that can be toxic. Dairy can be toxic for you. You drink too much fucking water, contaminated water, that can be toxic. So I think it's just really a learned behavior along the way of how people started to get into their toxicity because there's people like my family, for instance. We all are loud speakers. We all talk loud. But if you get a wrong person in a relationship with me that's been abused or yelled, and she just likes me, but she don't like every time I raise my voice, she goes in. That can be toxic to her. She can be like he yells at me every time I'm speaking, but I necessarily am not yelling. I'm just speaking loud. You see what I'm saying? So I think it kind of go hand in hand here with some things, and it's really I think it for for the people that's trying to do things correctly
happened?
and really have a successful relationship, they have to take accountability in themselves. And people like guys like you, Biz, and guys like myself, and you two young ladies down there, we didn't start out. I don't know when y'all got started taking accountability, but I didn't start taking accountability until my 30s, even past my 30s. I'm like, yo, like, nigga, you got to get your shit together. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be acting like this. Oh, you can't be talking like this. Sometimes I still try to self-check my shit. But at 18, 19, 20, and to 25, I don't think we frankly give a fuck if we're toxic or not. I honestly don't.
I think that everybody uses that word a little bit too loosely. I mean, every toxic. I mean, I hear it almost every 5 minutes. It's like the word is used way too loosely on things that can be fixed.
Right. I agree.
You
I
know,
agree.
because you're arguing with somebody or you don't get along with somebody doesn't mean they're toxic or you're toxic. It means that two people need to come and sit down and say, hey, this is what we have in common. This is where we differ. How can we come together and fix this? And people don't have the skills to do that. So they just go, oh, yeah, this is toxic. He's toxic. She's toxic. It's the word is just overly used at this point.
Right. And I think toxic, when it comes to that argument shit, arguments are not toxic unless you're coming in, you guys are bumping heads and no one knows how to de-escalate, or it becomes physical. That's what toxic is. Like, okay, you know what? You're bad for my health. And I'm bad for your health. Like, literally, we're starting to get at each other where, like, in the moment, I can kill you, or somebody can get hurt. And that is what that's
toxic. Yeah.
Everybody knows that line is just sometimes, unfortunately, the line is not recognized that it's been crossed until it's too late. And that's the unfortunate part about it. And it's sad to see, because I mean, I think I see something on TikTok where there was this it wasn't even a couple. It was a guy and a girl, and they were brothers and sisters. And you should have known that their relationship was toxic. He shot her.
His sister.
He shot his sister 5 times over some toilet tissue. So obviously there was some toxicity that was there, because, and she said, "Oh, this wasn't the first time we got into a fight, and it wasn't the first time he pulled his gun out." When a person pulls their gun out,
that should be a hint to you, like, "Hey, we need to tone it down. There's anger management issues here."
There are signs before the storm, usually,
and they probably saw their parents fighting like that all the time. So
right.
If you're seeing it and you're seeing that that's the way to handle anger,
learn behavior. And that's what I say is learn behavior.
The crazy thing is the boy wasn't taught to protect his sister. That's what I'm hearing from that, is that he wasn't even taught you protect your sister.
He wasn't not even only that, but he wasn't the value of human life, let alone your sister's life or a woman life. You didn't need a gun. There was another one. What's very similar. This guy got into an argument with his sister. He went to jail. Know why he went to jail? It's because he choked his sister to death for 13 minutes. Held her against the wall for 13 minutes.
Because he saw that. He's seen that behavior.
He saw red, and I think it was over. Call of Duty or something. He was playing Call of Duty or Fortnite or something like that, and she turned the Wi-Fi off or something like that on accident or something she did, and they got into it, and he choked the shit out of her for 13 minutes. Guess what? He choked her so long that he was still choking her when the police got there because she had called 911. That's crazy.
How was she able to call 911 while she's getting choked out? That's crazy.
Because I guess he was threatening her. He called 911. She called 911, and then on the phone, that's when she started, and she was still when police came. I was like, that's insane. It just kind of lets you know, like, even in sibling rivalry, like if it's going even to relationships of being with another woman, like we have to look back at like what type of relationship like shit we getting into. That's why when I have a significant other, anybody I ever dated, I always was big on seeing their mom and seeing their family when they were ready. I was real big on that, and especially
you see the dynamics.
One of the things I wanted to see is how well my girl was going to age. That's what I wanted to see. It just was. I was like, if your mom and your grandma still look good in their old age or their older age, you're a keeper. That was one of my things. Call it vain or call it whatever you want to call it. It was just like that was the thing that I did. You know what I mean? I used to look at ankles and stuff like that to see if you gonna have chubby ankles when you got older.
So,
I it's that way.
yeah,
So people need to look. That people need to take the time out and just look. You know, before
I
it's
didn't.
hard to say that when they're young.
I
Take the time out to get to know a
Yeah,
motherfucker. Just
Mhm.
get in
right. In
relationship.
general.
Yes, be
So
friends with the person so you can see
right.
how they handle stuff.
Right.
I didn't.
Because I think toxicity happens when two people aren't understanding each other or they're not willing to submit one to another,
Compromise.
And so when you're not willing to submit to someone and they're not willing to submit to you, it's going to cause conflict because we're in a society where everybody's selfish. Everybody is selfishly doing whatever they want to do, and if you don't get along with their program, forget you. I don't have to deal with you, and that's not how a relationship is going to work.
That's yeah.
Not a good
Right.
one.
That
You
was
have to
that,
be
So
selfless,
that was a
so
good.
I definitely, that was a good conversation,
and most
and
people aren't
I
ready to
didn't.
be selfless, and that's okay
I,
to say, "Hey, I'm not ready to submit myself to anyone right now." I'd rather someone say that
so
to me
I
than to get in a relationship and then not be a submissive partner one to another.
can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can she hear me?
It's
I can
crazy.
Can
hear
you?
you. Yeah, I don't think she
Oh
can. You can't hear Biz, huh?
No.
no. Check
It's
check check.
boy.
What happened to
No.
Maggie? I don't see.
I think either her phone died. She's not feeling well today. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So so look, I got one quick thing I want to do before we head out of
What's he
here.
saying?
He said he's got one
Um,
quick thing you want to do before we head out of here.
This is no bullshit. These are actual laws in states, in some states in the United States. Today, as of now, in Pennsylvania, you cannot catch a fish with your mouth. I shit you not. It is actually illegal to catch a fish with your mouth. So let's say you're swimming in a lake in Pennsylvania and you get a little sleepy and you yawn and a fucking trout jumps into your mouth and you swallow it. What? You can get arrested for this? Who would even think of such a law? Who would fucking think to make catching a trout with your mouth illegal in Pennsylvania? Okay, here's another one. In Oregon or Oregon, you're not allowed to throw your poop out of a moving car. This is real. I'm not kidding. Isn't this common sense? Well, wait, let me back up. First of all, who is taking a shit in a moving car?
so my whole point of
Unimportant.
playing my whole point of playing that video was to say like there are some ridiculous fucking laws in America.
Nothing he
That either
said was like important.
can she hear me?
Yeah,
She probably can hear me.
she said nothing he even
I
said
heard
was
her. I heard her.
Like
I
nobody
just want to
cares.
know if she
Like
can hear
it's
me.
not.
no, he can't you can't hear Biz, but Biz can hear you. So weird.
Oh,
Yeah, so she don't know what I'm saying right now, but she don't know why I'm playing the video, right? And that's the thing. People may look at things as like, well, this has no substance, right? They may look at it. Can she hear me?
Yeah,
No, can you?
she can't hear you, bro.
Oh well, she. Oh well, hold
Yeah.
on. Someone has to. I can hear you. Everybody else can hear
oh,
me. I
now
don't
I can
know.
hear him.
You can hear her now?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So the whole point of the video was to show how ridiculous America is, right? How false, how fucked up, and how foul. And when I see laws like this, and I come across laws like this, because this is not only the stupidest shit that America has. Most people want to say, well, why do we spend our time talking about the things we don't? Because it affects you, motherfucker. Like it really affects us. Laws like this spends time for motherfuckers' tax dollars to spend shit on shit like this. Motherfuckers lobby for shit like this, right? And your tax dollars go to that. But we don't fucking care, right? We don't fucking care because motherfuckers don't read. Motherfuckers look at the video and be like, oh, I didn't get it. I didn't think how that, you know what I mean? No, it's fucked up. We spend great time coming up with fuckery laws like this. And that's what he was talking about. And
Yeah.
we can always like point the finger at like our lives is going this way because of them, because of them, because of them. Well, shit. they doing everything now, I guess, because they got laws coming out like this, and nobody's pressing the issue. Not us. We did a video earlier about the system, like we was talking about the system. Rick's Melody, right? And he was talking about how the system is fucked up and how the system is set up this way and blase blase. And it's so true because this is the system that we're against. We claim we're against, but we follow everything that it says. We follow the laws, right? Nobody's taking. Well, I don't know. If you got to come up with a law like that, somebody had to do it, right?
Yeah.
But nobody's like doing that on a general basis, shitting in their hand and throwing it out. You know what I mean? Nobody is
thing.
Nobody is catching trout with their fucking mouths by swimming in the fucking lake. Nobody's doing that, right? But these motherfuckers will spend your tax dollars to go fight for some shit like this. This is how they play around shit. This is the fuckery. Matter of fact, they thought I was bullshitting. Okay, cool. I got another for y'all.
Interesting that you say that. Check this out. Listen.
The Black Jesus story was probably one of the most shocking things I ever heard. It came from my insider, Jacob, I call him that in the book, who actually was working for the Rothschilds and still does. And
Jacob Rothschild
also is a whistleblower who doesn't really do what they want, but continues to work for them because he feels like there's some very serious extraterrestrial threats to Earth and that what they're doing is very necessary to protect us.
Answers is here.
So the story goes that in the 1960s, there was a black man in Africa who came in with abilities complementary to those of Jesus. And he was performing miracles. He was starting to get people to listen to what he had to say. And the cabal tried to kill him, and, they could shoot him in the head, and his skull would just regenerate, and the flesh would grow back, and he was fine. And, so the crazy story that I heard, and remember, I was told at the time that if I disclosed this, that I would be killed. And I ended up putting it in the book anyway. The story was that this guy, they finally said, okay, we're going to bring you to the United Nations and share your message with the world. Let's get you on this flight. They bring him on this flight, and instead of bringing him to the United Nations, they shot him repeatedly, and then actually had some kind of meat grinder device, and basically like a bandsaw, I guess, and sawed up his body into a whole bunch of pieces, put him in these very like radioactive shielded containers, and then had all these fighter jets dock with the plane and fly his body parts to all corners of the world, where then these containers turned them into ash. And they thought that maybe this would defeat him, like that his body somehow, the tissue was necessary. So if they destroyed all the tissue in all these places across the world, maybe they could defeat him. Well, he then regenerated in their offices and was fully fine, fully intact. But the sad part is that he said, you guys so badly do not want me to be here that I am not going to be able to do any more. You're going to get what you want, but bear in mind that in the future, many others like me will be coming, and when they do, you will not be able to stop us.
We rise.
Wow. Well,
Now, how about that for a story of Jesus? They didn't teach you that in history class, did it? Damn, I must have.
So
now I'm gonna say
they ain't gonna teach you that. Hey, wait. They ain't gonna teach you that. They gonna tell you some shit. They gonna tell you some shit. They gonna tell you some shit. Wait. They gonna tell you some shit.
What? Wait on what? That ain't even fucking Jesus.
I'm not feeling that.
Like, if anything, supernatural, superpowers, something of that nature. But if for him to say there's gonna be others like that, okay, fine. Because I only know of one Jesus.
That's right. So others, wait a minute.
Hey, this is so great. This is so good because I can't wait to. Oh my gosh, I'm doing a special.
All I'm saying.
No, wait. Before you say what you say, I'm doing a special podcast. This was so great. I'm doing a special podcast on Jesus. We all know Jesus is Caesar.
Okay, we all know
if y'all
that
know Jesus.
What?
Wait. Caesar Borgia. You know that, right? He's a white dude named Caesar Borgia, right? You know that was his name, Jesus, Jesus. That Hail Zeus. That's what Jesus means. Hail Zeus. It came from Zeus, the Greek god.
No,
You don't
it
believe
didn't.
that?
No.
Oh my
fuck
God.
No, it didn't.
Hey,
Jesus.
Zeus?
Hold on. No, fuck no, man. Y'all. Oh my goodness. I can't believe you even just said that bullshit. No.
Yes,
No.
Jesus is a Greek. That's a farce, bro. That's a fuckery, bro.
You're right.
From
Jesus.
Zeus.
The Jesus.
It's derived from Zeus.
The name is
broken. Wait,
Joshua.
stop. Look.
It's Joshua.
No, it's oh my God. Joshua means Joshua when it's broken down. Because the letter J wasn't heard of. When they put a J to it, it means Joshua.
And the letter
guy,
J
wait.
Break it down, bitch.
Over in
letter J came from who?
Which was a guy that was dwelling over in Ethiopia with the Ethiopians, the Hebrew Ethiopians, literally, right? So the story that was conflated was they took the Hebrew Bible, right, from the whole Ethiopian diaspora or whatever, and they, shimmered it with their shit. That's why in the Holy Bible you won't see the Apocrypha, you won't see the Book of Enoch, you won't see there's another book.
You're not going to see it.
Forgive me, but there's two major books you won't see in there, right? And that should let you know why. Well, there's a certain passage that's preached to amongst the masses, right? A doctrine, a Christianity doctrine that's pretty much Catholic. That's all it is. You know what I mean?
Constantine.
Yeah, it's all Catholic shit. You know what I mean? And Jesus is what the actual name is. It's a Spanish, it's a Latin term. Jesus in English, it means Jesus. But it means, and when you break that down, when you break Jesus down, it means Zeus.
Where are you getting your information from?
Yeah, look, I've done enough reading.
I'm not getting it from the Bible. I'll tell you that.
That's a little.
Well, that's the problem.
Hey, check this out. Check this out. The Bible. Hey, look, check this out. That's what y'all understand. Look, check this out. I was a big person like on the Bible, right? I grew up in Kojic, big time. Like I could quote scriptures up the yin yang, right? I know Israel is black. Ye are gods on earth, right? We know Jesus went into Egypt and dwelled there for about a couple of, but people only think about Jesus last 3 years. That's like the major general masters think about Jesus last 3 years. They don't know Jesus was a carpenter. They don't know Jesus beat the shit out of the motherfuckers talking shit against his own, people and shit like that. They don't know that Jesus didn't even like his own fucking people. You didn't know that? This is like farce. This is the type of shit that we don't like. We don't look and read due diligence. The Bible is supposed to be read on parables, scientific, and allegories, right? That's what, quote unquote, the God in this Bible speaks of. But they're gods. It speaks of God and gods. So if we don't know and understand the terminology of how to break this shit down, whether it's in Greek terms, whether it's in, you know what I mean? Well, really, Greek term, that's really only you can get down to the source.
I'm still
you know
stuck.
What I mean? Motherfuckers don't even know this shit.
Did you say
Matter
Jesus
of fact,
didn't like his own people?
Huh?
Just say Jesus didn't like his own people?
Yeah, I'm just listening to him going, what?
I'm telling you, y'all remember Jesus going up in the motherfucking shit and tossing over tables and shit like that, talking about y'all motherfuckers fucking up shit. You don't remember that, y'all?
That doesn't mean he doesn't love his own people.
Jesus, he said he told his own disciples that you were despicable. Like y'all can't even stay up 1 second.
Because they were doing bullshit. It doesn't mean that he doesn't like them. Jesus was not just like anybody, just like any bitch.
That's
you love
crazy.
me. I'm your cousin, right? But if I came in your house fucking shit up, you wouldn't like me at that particular moment. But then,
but I don't. But
overall,
okay. If Jesus, who killed Jesus then? Who killed him?
His fucking boys. His boys.
No, his boy snitched.
Set him up.
No, wait, check. His boy snitched. Was kind of like his brother.
Judas.
Anyway.
Judas.
Snitch.
Judas. Right? Yep.
Who got him crucified? Pontius came out. Who got him crucified? Come on, Miss Cat.
Well, I mean, to have. I don't think it. I never think it's healthy to have a biblical discussion.
That's moving the goalposts. See, who had him crucified?
I'm just saying,
if you want to know who had him crucified, it was Jews. It was the Hebrews.
That
It
doesn't
was
mean
to
he
his
doesn't
own
love his own
people.
people, because when he comes back,
He's
he's going to save his own people
You're
because
talking
of their
about because
ignorance.
they held the vote.
see, my
They held the
God,
vote
man,
on it.
And the
oh
only
my
reason his
God,
own people did that is
this is
because
so
they had
far.
their own beliefs of who
This is
Jesus was supposed to be. So they saw this
it's
poor
not a
man and
real
they're like,
person.
hey, our God is not going to be poor. He's going to be this wealthy person. He's going to be
So
able to
you think he's gonna come back in chariots and
he
like
is going to come
a
back
form of a
and then
man?
they're going to believe and they're
He
going to
gonna
be with
is he
him.
gonna come back in a
That's what the
form of a
Bible
man?
says. The
Once
Bible says all
everybody
Jews will be saved.
once everybody knows the
Who are
Bible,
they? Wait. Who are
The
they?
original Jews or Jewish people, those are two different things. There's Jews and there's Jewish people.
Okay, are you one of them?
It doesn't matter because he came for the Jews and the Gentiles.
No,
God came and
what are
God came
Gentiles?
to save the Jews and the
What are
Gentiles.
Gentiles? Because I
That's who
went through
we
this
are.
whole
That's who Mexican people are and white people are and everybody who's not Jew.
no goddamn
no,
Gentile.
those are people. No, those are
I'm telling
see,
you,
that's
whoever
not
is
true,
Jew
man.
who are not Jews, they
Oh
will
my
be
God.
with him.
Okay, so
He never
just
said, hey, only Jews
nobody
are
may
going to be
not
with me
believe this.
or only
You may not
Gentiles are
believe
going to
this.
be with me. He came
I agree
and
with you on
saved
that.
all of us.
Okay, so you may not believe this, but according to the Bible,
The Bible says
Gentiles are those who were Hebrews and literally fell didn't had no correlation who their people was.
it doesn't
So
matter. He came for all of us. He
no,
came
he
to
did
save
not. He said I
all of us.
only came for the children of Israel. I did not come for all
No,
nations.
that's not true.
It is. You can look it
That's
up in the
not true.
Bible. John 3
I
6,
know that
where
the Bible
everybody
does not
read every
say Bible.
scripture,
There's nowhere
John
in the
three
Bible where it
sixteen,
says
but they
I'm
never
only
read
coming
John three
for
seventeen.
two people. There's nowhere
No,
in the
they
Bible that says that. He said
he I
he
want to pull it up for you. Want to do some Bible facts
pull
for you?
up where in the Bible where it says Jesus is only going to come
He
back
said, I
for
only
Jews
come. He
only.
said, I did not come to break my father's laws. Only come for one nation, Israel only. Want me to bring it up? I can pull it up for you. I went through this shit so much with the Israelites.
Yeah, but he was
Oh
talking
God,
to
those
Pastor.
people are very
That was
off.
Pastor.
I get you. I get you.
They're
They're
off.
very.
Anybody who's talking about Jesus and then cussing you out in the same sentence, there's something wrong.
Jesus used the word damn. Jesus used
No,
the word.
no, no. I
You know
mean,
what?
come on. Israelite
Jesus.
people love them. I have friends who are Israelites, but if you're talking to people and you're condemning people in the same sentence, that's not of God. It's
See,
not.
I can.
Yeah,
Okay,
because
so I can sit in a room.
he
I always
now
wanted to be the
You can't
wise guy. Check.
you
I always
can't
wanted to
be
be a
in
wise.
darkness and bringing people to
Look,
light, but you're in the dark. Like it
look,
doesn't work
look,
that way.
look.
But
I
just
always wanted
know
to be
that
a
white
wise.
people, black people, green people, yellow people, they're all going to be in heaven. And guess what?
When they
Your
only
if they do
12,
right,
your
when they
flesh will
only
not be
12.
in
Hey, hold on,
heaven.
hold on, hold on, hold on. See, this is the fuckery I'm talking about. This is Christianity teaching. I'm not knocking on you, Miss Cat, but what it is this is Christianity teaching,
Mhm.
right? When the Bible says in Revelation there are only 12 gates, and in order to get in one of those 12 gates, you have to be a part of that bloodline, right? And so when you look at that, who are the 12 tribes?
All of us are part
Only
of one bloodline, Adam and Eve. All of us.
yeah,
Every single one of us.
hey, raise your hand up in the chat comments if you think God he need a New Testament. God dang it, God need to go ahead and send Jesus down again one more time and bring a New Testament.
All
Or
of
bring
us are from the
Moses down.
same bloodline, Adam and Eve.
The
So
Bible has been today in today's society, and I guess today's standard, if you will. Even back then, it's. I feel like we need an updated version of the Bible. Like I've been praying for God. I've been praying to God, like, yo, we need God
there's
keeps sending.
always updated versions. Every year there's a new type of Bible
Scriptures.
that
Every
comes
time I
out.
pray for, he send me a new scripture. Or there's somebody like holy and sanctified. They come and talk to me. I'm like, damn, like I get what you're trying to say. You want me to read the Bible and understand better for myself. I get it. So like, I still think it should be an updated version, but I might stand alone. Oh, he's coming sooner than we may think. Oh, for sure, for sure. I believe it. I look around.
all right,
Look around
so
every day, and I'm like,
I'll give you one. I'll give
it's
you guys
crazy.
one. Here we go. Matthew 15. What is it? Matthew 15:24. Right? Jesus said, when Jesus began to minister in the world, right? And we don't understand, like, this anyway. I ain't gonna get to that. You have to break these words down. But anyway, in the world, his only interest audience was God's people, the Jews. It is recorded in Matthew 15:24. I was sent only, which is a possessive word, to the lost sheep of Israel. Remember, God chose Israelites as his own, and he was their God.
Yeah. So if you
So
believe that only Israelites are going, then so be it. But
I
everybody
didn't
else
say that.
knows
That's
that
from the
whoever
Bible. How
believes
you
in
go? How
Christ
you
shall
go?
see
How
him.
you go? Fucking. How you,
I'm just saying if that's what you believe,
read that from,
who are we to fight
I'll
with
pull it
you?
up right now. Look, I'll put on the share the
Right,
screen
right.
so y'all see I'm
I
not
guess
bullshitting.
what you're trying to say, Biz, is this. Like for me, even when you read that, and I understand the Bible in great terms as well, but when you read that, it sounds like this. Yeah, as his chosen people of the people he chose, they were lost. And it sounds like they were the only lost motherfuckers at the time. So he chose them because they were what I would consider the underdogs at the particular time. Now I could be wrong and I could be right and I could be right. But what I'm saying is simply this. I don't believe that everybody else is not going to heaven as well. Do I believe everybody going to heaven? No, I don't. Just like Pac said, everybody kissing ass to get to heaven ain't going. That because people are everybody's doing this thing like oh boom boom this and that. Everybody is trying their luck and they're like oh I'm saved, I'm doing this, I'm preaching the word and blah blah blah, but they're not doing the things correctly by God. This is what I believe in my heart
See,
as a little kid. As a little
that's
kid,
crazy. That's
this,
crazy. That's Western doctrine.
no, I'm not.
What?
Look.
Okay, so wait. He just says Western doctrine, but what
I
parts
pull
of
up
the
the
Bible
papal
are
bull for
Western and
y'all.
what parts aren't?
Let me
Bull. I'm gonna pull up the Christian, the Christian papal bull, the doctrine papal bull that was rolled
wait.
out
Give me a
before
second.
slavery started.
This
Pull
is
it up
this
for
is
you.
what I believe. I believe this wholeheartedly, and I've always believed this as a little kid. I believe, like it says in the Bible, if your heart intentions is with God, your heart intentions, your either meaning that your soul is not contaminated by evil, like you don't get up plotting on people or have an intent of defiling somebody. God truly will look at your heart, and you will be accepted into the gates of heaven based on the weight of your heart. I've always believed that as a little kid. Bible or no Bible. So, and then it still speaks to this day. God whispers in my ear and gives me those messages. So, regardless of doctrine, regardless of scriptures, I believe this. Even if you don't know God, he will still, if you died and you didn't know God, you still have a chance. A chance. He'll give you that chance to get to know him and either release you back to earth or bring you back into heaven. That's what I truly believe. I could be wrong.
And here's a good scripture for you to look at since you want
I'm
scriptures.
gonna read one more for y'all. The papal bull. The papal bull is a doctrine that rolled out by the Roman government. That was
Uh,
executive order by the Pope, right? And this was literally to inhabit the new world. This effective gave Spain a monopoly on the land in the New World. The bull stated that the land not inhabited by Christians was available to be discovered, claimed, and exploited by Christian rulers, and declared that the Catholic faith and the Christian religion be exalted and be everywhere increased and spread, that the
mhm.
health of souls be cared for that was inhabited by the nation. The doctrine of discovery was a horrific form of pain.
Well, first of all, Catholic religion, that's a
So
whole other
it
conversation. But
said Christian. It didn't say Catholic. It was Christian all
no,
up
it
in
said
there.
Catholic and Christian. You
Christian
said
religion. You heard Christian religion. You heard Christian faith. I mean, like these are article facts that people. These are not bullshit. These are factual shit that was wrote out by people to rule over a certain nation of people to preach a certain doctrine.
well, first of all, doctrines. The scripture you can look at is Acts 2:38. When you asked who's going to go to heaven and how do you go to heaven, it's in Acts
And Acts is
2:38.
dealing with. Wait, what is Acts
Acts
dealing
chapter
with?
2,
Who
verse
is Acts
38.
dealing with?
Well,
Who is
read it. It you just
it's
asked who's
not
going
dealing
to
with the
heaven.
world?
Is it Jews or Gentiles and all that? I'm going, okay, Acts 2:38 tells you
I didn't.
what you must do to be saved. And it doesn't say anything about where you come from.
Long
Because
as you confess in your
flesh,
heart,
here's the thing, flesh and blood will not be in heaven. So it
Of
doesn't
course,
matter
that's
what you look like on your skin, flesh and blood will
that's
not be in
that's
heaven.
that's a great Western doctrine. I
It's
understand that.
it's it's the Christian doctrine. It's not Western. It's the Christian doctrine. It's the Bible. So if you
I
don't
just
believe, if you
read
don't believe in the Bible, then
this
the
was it. Wait,
conversation.
wait. This was in 1493 when this was wrote out. When did slavery start? Right after.
Okay,
So you can't like we can't say these things and then say, well, we all accept it. Well, how were you accepted when you were indoctrinated to think a certain way? Like you wasn't your thought process wasn't to question that Bible, right? Right. I grew up like that. Don't question the Bible. Don't question God. You should never question God. My grandmother was the most spiritualist person on this fucking planet. I
Okay,
grew up in
big.
Kojic. Wait. I grew up in Kojic from the time I was fucking came out of my mama Punani, right? So I understand. I
well,
feel you.
religion
I
doesn't matter
understand.
because the Bible doesn't talk about religion. The Bible says to be holy. Right?
Christianity is a what?
That's
It's a
a way of
religion.
life.
It's a religion.
That's a religion.
Yeah.
Christianity is a way of life.
I just read it to you. That's the
Well,
fact I'm saying. Like
I'm telling you what Christianity is. It's a way of life. It's a way of life. That's all it is. It's a way of life. But the Bible doesn't talk about Baptist or Kojic, or it says, "Be holy, for I am holy."
no, the Bible is the most racist book on the planet.
It's not racist.
It is.
Well, I mean, you have a right
It
to have
talk-
your opinion. Like, you
I'm
know,
not just not an opinion. These are facts. It talks about the Edomites, the Moabites, the Canaanites, right? And it talks about Israel ruling. Wait, it talks about Israel being a better nation over all those nations. It
well, if you want to read that scripture, you ask who's going to heaven and what you got to do to get there. That's what you got to do. It's spelled out, and there's no black or white there. It's the same for everybody.
I love history. So that's why I'm like
I do too.
This is like people I used to think that like I was isn't on the Bible. You know what I mean? Like I don't neglect it. I just don't think it's, it has all the answers, wait. You know what I mean? And I really believe that it's really messed up. There's a lot of things in the Bible people overlooking. Like it talks about like take the, kill all the men and kill all the other one, but
Well,
take
that's
the
why
kids
it
and
says
take the
study
women.
to show
It's
yourself
like,
approved. Study for
you know,
yourself. So if you think it's overlooked, that should make you want to dive deeper and to research that stuff. There's a thing called logos and stuff where you can kind of dig deeper, because most people in church don't even read the Bible. They don't dig deeper. So the fact that you're wanting to know more, that's a great thing.
No,
to seek it with an open mind. A mind of, oh, this is all wrong and we've been brainwashed. No, just say, Lord, reveal the right thing to me when you read it, and don't go in with the thought of all this is all fake.
No. See, that's what y'all see. I believe this is what I believe. Whether the world gives a fuck or not, I believe that God is within. Right? We can possess and maneuver things. Our body can heal itself. Right?
We're spiritual beings.
Okay. So why do I need a doctrine to think a certain way, right? When the book is only a history book. It's not so much of
it's not a history book. It's not just a history book.
Oh my God.
Not. I hear what you're saying.
It says in the beginning the word was God. So it's not just a history book.
God was word, and the word was
and the word became flesh. So it's not just a history book.
This is why I say, like, you would be looked at so evil, right? To speak against the masses, to speak against like what's being preached amongst the audience, right? I'm not always politically correct. I really don't give honestly, sometimes I don't give a fuck how people think. Why? Because after they see the truth, then they be like, oh shit, I was thinking the wrong way the whole time. And then they feel dumbfounded because I did. Right? I went in deep. I'm an entertainer. So entertainers get to see life way better than most people. That means
the Bible, it says too much knowledge is sorrow too, as well, right? You do know it says that, right?
Just like depression. People don't know Adam. Look, people don't know Adam. Wait. People don't know. Right. Just like Adam in the book of wait. Just like Adam in the book of Apocrypha, in the Apocrypha book, just like Adam, because he was coming across so much knowledge, and he almost committed suicide, not once, but a couple of times. People don't know about that because they don't read. That's what I'm saying. We can know all this information about one book if we don't look at the Apocrypha and Maccabees and Enoch, the book of Enoch.
Okay, people know about Maccabees and Enoch and Ecclesiasticus and all that, but here's the thing:
Apocrypha, but people don't read it.
But this is in all fairness.
People don't read Obadiah. Wait. I'm hold on. People don't read Obadiah where Jesus talking about coming to kill Edom.
Look,
you don't. No.
The slave book
this is the fuckery. This is fuckery. People don't read.
Let me finish my thought.
That's what I'm saying, man.
What? You said you went in deep. You said you
Obadiah is in the fucking Bible. That's not preached in the fucking Christian churches like verbatimly, right? Obadiah. There's a scripture in the Bible in Obadiah where Jesus talking about coming to slay Edom, right? The rapture when he comes back. But nobody talks about that. Nobody says who is Edom. Right?
Well, it don't sound like
Jesus was coming.
It doesn't sound like people are listening to anything that's in the Bible anyway, because if they were, none of us would be sleeping around and drugging ourselves and killing each other and stabbing each other in the back. And so it's like,
what they do with it.
When the Israelites did it verbatimly.
No, it is. Given the knowledge, what would they do with it? The same thing they're doing fucking now.
Nothing.
And you have, to be fair to the human population,
that's subjective. That's objective. That's very subjective.
To black people, to be fair, there was one book, and then it got broken down to so many different books. And for fairness of black people, we were given the slave book before we even given, I guess, the proper book that we look at now. And still, that book is wrong. So if we still went into all the stuff that you're saying, the missing books of the Bible. I forget what they call that of the actual book that doesn't have anything taken out of it. It's not called the Bible. It's called the Bible something. It starts with a K, I believe. But given all that, females are still gonna be twerking in the club. Niggas is still gonna be beating on their women and selling drugs and having multiple women. They still
church on Sunday.
Huh? What'd you say?
Christianity is the only religion that gets disrespected every Sunday.
No, what do you mean? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by disrespected every Sunday?
Because we talk about the Bible, right? And we got, you know what I mean?
No,
and you just spoke of they go still be twerking, they go still be doing this. Christianity is the only church, is the only religion that gets humiliated in front of the public all the times.
No, Catholic Church does too. All the time.
Muslims.
Where? Let me know. Let me know when you see bitches twerking in the Catholic church.
No,
because I can show you.
Great. I know. Would you leave your son around a priest?
Exactly.
Oh, y'all. That's like saying, would you leave? No, that's like saying, would you leave your son around a homosexual pastor? No, of course not. But I'm not afraid of him going to the church.
I'm just using what you said in a Catholic.
You don't see, right? But you don't see Catholic people that's going to Catholic church. You don't see them going to the church twerking, right? We'll see the church twerking. That's the whole point. Christian churches are the only.
You mean openly being disrespectful to the religion?
Disrespectful. You don't see Muslims doing that. You don't see Buddhism doing. You know, Buddhists doing that.
Here's the thing that you are missing. Here's the thing that we're all missing is that people who are saying that they are Christian are not Christian. Satan comes to kill, steal, and
you to determine that? If we use what you said, who are you to determine that? We have no hell, heaven or hell.
By the fruits of the trees. By the
fruit. We can judge though. So that's saying we could judge.
No, I am.
You're judging by telling us that they're not.
By the fruits of their look. If everybody who says they're Christian are not Christian, everybody who says, "Hey, I'm not a druggie," and they're doing drugs silently, they're not. They're druggies. They're just saying they're not. Everybody says I'm faithful to my spouse that are cheating are not faithful. So what I'm saying is that a lot of people who are using the Lord's name are not of Him.
But who are you to say that? If we use your same claim
we're not,
we have no heaven or hell to put them in. So
I don't have one.
That they're not a Christian or not.
They're not, because you can see the fruits.
It's so that means
narrow
they're going to hell,
is the way. Right? It's this so narrow is the way. So if all these people are saying, "Oh, I'm Christian," but then they're showing their nipples to everybody, or they're sleeping with every man that they meet, or they're cussing everybody out every 5 minutes, but they're going, "Oh, but I'm a Christian." you have to know, have the mindset to say, okay, are they a Christian or are they someone in progress that's working on it,
Fish,
or are they a counterfeit? And there's
fish.
a
She's not
whole bunch
judging.
of counterfeit.
Fish. She's not judging
That's
him. She's
judging
just
as
simply
fuck.
That's not
saying
judging.
if
That's
he,
just stating
if he
facts.
quacks like, right. If he quacks like a duck, then it's a duck. But if it wolfs, it's a fucking dog. So that's simply what she said. And I'll be honest, like, I don't even I can say I denounced Christianity a long time ago because I personally believe in two things. I believe, excuse me, three things. I believe in God, I believe in Jesus, and I believe in His Word. But I only believe in His Word that if I feel like God guides me to His Word, and as I'm reading, that's why it tells you to pray. Well, a lot of people give you information that says God tells you to pray before you even enter the Bible, so that way He can guide you to the
Give you
to the
understanding.
right message. And
That's right.
that's the way I do it because I'm spiritually bounded. I'm rooted. I'm rooted. So when you are spiritually rooted, you can move in these certain directions. Whether you're Christian, what you believe or not. I don't believe myself to be a Christian because
Man,
being a
looks are
Christian,
deceiving, man.
I don't
Don't
agree with.
people don't be out here looking at people and be like, oh, like motherfuckers. I saw the motherfucking chick that was twerking, the senator who was twerking, right? Right? Motherfuckers that instantly label her as a twerker, street whore, all this other shit, right?
Now, how you go to street
Instantly.
work as you dancing?
No, she was twerking upside down, like stripper style. Like she was good at it. Like she was really good. Like P Valley style. Like she had talent. You know what I mean? She did that a long time. Like she been doing it. But I wouldn't look at her as any wrong than a woman who's going to church every day, the conservative woman. I don't look at them like either one is wronger than the other. Just because one decides to have a fun time and the other decided to read the book of Jesus, I'm not. Nobody's looking at them as like, well, she's wrong because she doesn't have the fruits of a Christian.
Well, at
But
what point
she's
do you think
right
someone's wrong? All right. I mean, where's the line drawn of what's wrong and what's right?
when you take a life that's not yours, like when you take someone else's life. You know what I
That's
mean?
it. So someone can steal from you, or someone can say um, lies on you constantly. Someone can wreck your car,
Yeah,
run
but
you
if
like
I use
run
the
into your
Jesus
house,
statement,
and
I
that's
can
not
say
wrong.
they
You know what I mean? What line do we say?
right.
Okay, this is wrong and this is right.
Okay, so I can say yep. If I use the Jesus statement, I just turn another cheek. Right? Bullshit. I wouldn't do that shit. I slap the shit out of him. I know you're gonna get what come on to you. Like if you
Now, Jesus didn't
throw
say.
if you throw a stone, I'm gonna throw a stone back. I'm
I'm
not
just
I'm
saying.
not
I'm just
that
saying.
I'm not
Jesus didn't
that
say what.
that whole that Christianity shit. Like I don't fall for that. Like we have to come out to see consciousness, right? And to be Christ is to be conscious like, right? There's seven chakras, right? And they have a thing to reach your seventh chakra, you have to overcome these 37, your 37 inner demons, right? You know what I mean? Stuff that you're battling with, whether it's sex, whether it's drugs, whether,
37.
we have our own little demons, right? We have our own little demons that we all battle. We have our own vices and shit. But to overcome those things is to reach a higher consciousness, right? Which is like what quote
Who's
unquote what
teaching you
Christ like,
this?
right? What was
Who's
Christ
teaching
like?
you these higher level consciousness? What book are you reading that's teaching you that?
He meets different people and then he also researches himself. He
Man,
meets.
Oh, because I'm like, that sounds like
I
a
look.
philosophy or a religion right there. Like it sounds
That's
like
not
that
a
guy.
religion, man. That's not a religion. We all have energy, man. I believe in energy. We all have godlike matter. You know what I mean? Like we all have ways is to possess things unto ourselves. Like
That's a fact.
what we think
Spirit.
about, we draw unto us. It's even in
We're
the
spiritual
Bible.
beings.
I don't
Proverbs
see how
18.
people can't fucking see it. The tongue is a double-edged sword, right? What you can speak life or death,
Yeah,
right?
that's
So if
biblical, but you don't believe in the Bible. That
it
was a quote
doesn't,
from the Bible.
no. The Bible? The
That
Which
was
I
a
Bible?
quote from the Bible.
No.
which I agree.
Look, the Bible is literally a lifestyle history book for motherfuckers that like literally came from it's literally telling you a story that what happened back then, right? And how they live and what was their way of life, right? And how they conduct themselves. Literally, people don't know that there's over 360 some odd laws on the Hebrew in the Hebrew diaspora, right? That they follow to conduct themselves, govern themselves, how women should move, how men should move, how kids should move, right? It was literally governed. You know what I mean? So those are the things that like we may not look at the Bible. Like every Christian don't believe everything in the Bible.
True.
They say they do, but they don't believe everything in the Bible.
They don't.
So
But
why you following
again,
it?
that's not a Christian. You're
So you
saying
believe
like
so you believe 100% of the Bible.
absolutely.
Okay, so you believe when when Moses came out with the scribes, right? And he went up in the mountains, and they say he had a conversation with God, really had a conversation with his, himself, his pineal gland, whatever. And we can say that he came down with these rules, right? With these laws, right? And in one of those laws in Deuteronomy, it tells you to not dwell with certain nations, not do business with certain nations and shit like that. Do you agree with that?
I agree with the entire Bible. That's being a Christian. You have to believe in the entire Bible, even if you're not, practicing everything or you're still working on yourself. You're work in progress, but you can't say,
Yeah, more.
I only believe in these 3 books, but I don't believe in all this other stuff. Like it's that it doesn't work that way.
What I'm okay, and
But
what
all
I
the
was
laws in the Old Testament
the
aren't
10
meant for us. We're a part of the New Testament church.
what did you okay where did Jesus come? Jesus came in the New Testament, right?
Yeah, what I'm saying is you're talking about laws though, because it said if you sin, like if you commit adultery, if you steal from the store with your right hand, you're supposed to get it chopped off. So
Okay,
if we all
should get
went
it
by
chopped
those
up.
laws, all of us would be walking around with one hand.
No, we
So,
all wouldn't. No, it'd be less motherfuckers stealing. That's what the fucking
well,
point
the
is.
point is that we don't live in the Old
You can't
Testament
say no. You can't
time.
say
So
if
some of those things don't apply to us because we would all be all of us.
so.
All
You
of us
don't
have
believe in
sinned.
all
All
of
of
the
us would
book.
be dead right now. All
So
of us
you
would
don't.
have had an eye plucked out. It says if you see sin,
Not
they're
all.
supposed to pluck your eye out.
That's
And
the point.
all of us have seen sin. We're all watching Netflix.
Because now your
Women
eyesight
are supposed to wear a modest dress.
now
Women are
going
supposed to, like in the
True,
Bible. It says women are
true.
supposed
But
to
that's in
dress
the New
modest.
Testament as
Women are
well.
supposed to
That's in the New
look.
Testament church as well.
Look, even Jesus came and said, I did not come to break my father's laws, which was in the New Testament. So that means in order to understand the new, you got to understand the old.
We do as a we have to look at that to understand how we live today. But I'm saying those laws can't apply to us. All of us would be eyes poked out, left arms removed because we're all
Not
sinning.
you
We're all
can't
doing things.
say
People got stoned for cheating on their women in
Kenya,
the Old
Kenya.
Testament.
I think it's
That
Kenya.
means
Kenya
all of
have
us would
the
be getting stoned
okay, cool.
to
Kenya,
death.
no, that just means you rebellious as fuck. That's what that means. Like if like
Men
in
and
Kenya,
women.
look in Kenya, right? They have like the highest rate of like discipline when it comes to crime, right? They have the lowest rate of crime, I believe. You know what I mean? Maybe statistics and maybe change lower, whatever, higher, whatever. But they would cut off a motherfucker's arm. Exactly what you're saying.
They don't
Cut off
do
the
that
arm,
today.
cut off the, you know what I mean? I think they still do. I could be wrong though, but
That's great.
last time I
Cutting
saw, I
off
think they
people's
still can.
hands.
You know what I mean? Like that's a real actual thing. There would be a lot less motherfuckers stealing. There would be if women got stoned for cheating on their husband, there would be a lot less women cheating.
Correct.
a lot,
And if men got stoned for
there'd be a lot
cheating,
more
there'd be
kids.
a lot less
No,
men.
no, that's not to see. That's the rule. See, that's not the same for a man and a woman, though, right? A woman is being conquered and her emotions being taken, right? We had a conversation earlier about picking over or fighting for. See, a man would fight for you, right? In those times, right? Because they're putting their lives on the line. They protect you. That's why I'm, you know what I mean? To
But the
provide,
moral
give you a nap.
attitude back then versus now is way different. They didn't have
Right, but God
TV. They
never
didn't have
tripped
all the
off.
stuff we have access to right now.
Hey, God never tripped off Abraham having a couple wives. He never tripped off that. He just told Behar. He just said, "Hey Behar, you go take Ishmael and go up in the mountains. And you guys going to inherit the mountain."
Okay.
When you don't know about Behar,
God
you don't know
requires
about.
one spouse.
No, he didn't.
One spouse.
No, he doesn't.
That's what I'm talking about.
He actually said
He did not say you can have no 15 wives.
He said you can have it as long as you can provide for them.
As long as you can provide for them.
And nobody can.
No, you think they can.
Yeah,
A millionaire can.
You guys can barely take care of one woman sexually. How are you
That
gonna
be-
take care of 5?
Okay, so check
Let's
this
be
out. Check this
real.
out.
Let's
Huh,
be
I got that.
real.
I got that. I got that. Check this out.
You can't take care of
He
her
said
sexually. You can't
sexually.
take care of her spiritually. You
He
can't
said
take care of
sexually.
her emotionally the same. And you definitely can't take care of her financially the same. So all those are null and void because you
All
can't
right.
do it.
In
Not
America,
nowadays.
in
Yeah,
If
but
Western
you
this is
buy
not
one
that.
car, if you buy one lady a Mercedes Benz, you've got to buy the next woman a Mercedes Benz. If you buy her a 3,000 square foot house, you're supposed to buy the other woman a 3,000 square foot house.
That's true.
So,
That's
so
not
the
true. That's not true at all. That is not true at
So
all.
you're saying you can have 5 wives and put one up in a mansion, the other one you got her at your mama's house. Come on.
Every I'm not saying that, but every one of them holds a different type of value. And even in the Bible, it was done that way. Like, yeah, this woman got all the riches and all the stuff, and this one bare all the children. Her children bearing children was worth more than this woman getting all the riches. And those are multiple stories that's in the Bible of them. I can't recite them. I just know the stories. I can't tell you the stories. I just know that is just what has been written. You know what I mean? So, and it's just, and it has been part of our is monogamy didn't come until way later. Why was monogamy even brought into
because of all the chaos that I'm hearing from you right now? That's just chaos. And God said it wasn't good.
So do you really believe man can? Do you really believe man is fit to be with one woman?
I believe that a man can get murdered quicker if he's got multiple women. That's what I do believe.
Well,
he can get
we see
murdered
that that's
quickly.
not statistically right, but
It's just the truth. You can't have 4 or 5 women and not have constant chaos. Constant chaos.
No.
You
Hey,
guys
would
have
you
both
believe?
cheated on your women, and it was nothing but chaos. Once you got caught, or if you're trying to date 2 different women, you can't be on 2 dates on Friday night. You can't
No,
do
that's
it.
because them niggas is tossing it around. If they agreed and that was on an
Don't
agreeable
even say
stand,
you could. No, you cannot.
if
If
that
I
was
say I
on an
want to go to
agreeable,
the movies at 8:00, you can't take Sharon at 8:00 to the movies. You
why
can't.
would I take her at the 8:00 when I got you? That don't make any sense.
I'll be seeing Sharon at 10:00.
Right.
Right. Exactly. Proves my point.
10:00.
You cannot please 2 women, and it's nothing but chaos.
We just did. He just said, I'll come home and do her 10:00.
No, I'm saying 8:00. I want to go at 8:00, and I want to go to Cheesecake Factory at 7. And then your next girl calls and says, I want to go to Cheesecake Factory at 7:30.
Exactly why you
and I
wouldn't be
want
part
to go
of
at
the
8
lineup.
o'clock.
No, you just okay. So
You can't do it.
I
It's
just
chaos.
needy.
Part of the lineup. You are no. Do not pass go. Do not get cheesecake. Do not get $200.
God is about simplicity.
Too much.
God wants our life to be simple, and lives are simple. When we just do the right thing, we have simple, easy life.
Low self-esteem and budgets in their lineup. You know what I mean? I'm gonna build them.
I got it. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad we're talking about this because this brings us to our closing.
He said
but
they get along just
they
fine.
wives and they all get along fine. Ain't
That's
nobody
what he
tripping.
thinks.
Hey, I tell you what. Hey,
I know
another
people
instance
who,
for
and
prayer
I know
is to
people in
receive
Africa who
guidance.
have multiple wives, and there's nothing but chaos. The kids and jealousy, and one wife's kids are treated better than the other, and it's a chaos.
There's
It's
only
chaos.
one.
Men in other countries laugh at American men.
Yeah,
they laugh at us big time.
And we laugh at them. Everybody's culture and upbringings are different. I don't think one culture is better than the other. It's just different.
Oh, I do. To have 17 wives
and
and like 80
there's a lot
kids.
of women that are unhappy.
Hey,
if you
to
ask
have
a woman who's sharing her man, I guarantee you she's not happy about it. And your job
how would you
is
know
supposed
if that's what they grew up learning? Like if that's what only thing they grew up knowing, and they were taught that from their mothers. How would that
there's
be?
Women that grew up seeing their moms get beat. That doesn't mean it's right.
That's not. But that's a very far extreme on a general basis.
No,
like
it's happening.
So you say on the general basis, women in America on a general basis, like 70% of women getting their ass beat by men.
I mean, I wouldn't say 70%, but I guarantee
we can't use that.
It's a high percentage, and people that you don't think, like even famous people, are going through abuse. They're not happy, but they're staying in it because they have children or because of their prestige or their, whatever. I mean, we can name a ton of people that were famous that were going through bad relationships and they stayed in it. That doesn't mean
Okay.
you're happy because you're in a situation.
Okay.
50 to
I'm
60%
she said 50 to 60% are
are in
getting
a
their ass
peaceful
beat by
relationships.
dudes.
Oh wow,
They
that's crazy. That's
by
crazy.
dudes, right? What's up, Daisy? They sucking it up. By dudes. So we was talking. I don't. I. That's not like a. If that was the case, then there'd be a lot divorces. That's divorced
There is
on
most marriages ending. 50% of marriages are ending in divorce,
no,
like or
but not
sixty
in domestic
percent.
violence. But not in domestic violence.
Hey, y'all,
It's a,
you want to hear a crazy fact? Why did humans start monogamy? Humans are now mostly monogamous, but
it's a Western
this has
thing.
only been the norm for just the past 1,000 years.
Yep.
Well, I think it's a
Western.
good idea because we don't want monkeypox.
Scientists at University College of London believe monogamy
Monkey
emerged
pots.
so males could protect their infants from other males and ancestral groups who may kill them in order to mate with their mothers. Wow, that's pretty. That's pretty jaw dropping. That it had nothing to do even with religion.
Well,
What
I
else
can
was up?
tell you, being in one relationship is a lot safer health wise, mentally, and financially. There's no getting around it.
What?
Yeah.
It's a healthier way of life. It's cheaper for men to have one woman. It's safer health wise for them to have one woman. And emotionally, it's safer. It's a better situation. You can't justify all these
Economic.
multiple women. You're going to get diseases. You're going to have jealousy issues. You're going to have financial issues. It's just a lot more stuff that you're making complicated for your life that doesn't have to be.
Let me give you a perfect example of somebody with a lot of money that pleases all his women. He's not married to all of them, but he's definitely smashing all of them. And
That
his
doesn't mean the women are happy.
every
Oh,
last
they're
one of them.
happy.
Nick
They're
Cannon,
happy.
every
Trust.
last one of them was happy.
Yeah.
They'll tell you straight to the camera,
No, they
whatever.
won't.
That I look.
Lies, you tell lies.
Go do the research for yourself.
Ain't no
Nick
woman
Cannon,
happy sharing their man. I'm gonna tell you, no
I
woman is
promise you.
happy sharing
Go
their
look.
man.
Go look at
No,
Nick
their women
Cannon's
understand the
wife.
dynamics of what a man
They're
is.
settling.
I think the
No,
only
they're not
person
They're
telling
settling.
you.
is not happy
The
about it
man
is
is
probably
settling.
this one. It would be Mariah Carey. Would be Mariah Carey. All the rest of his baby mamas do not care.
Are you
They
talking about Nick Cannon?
it's fine. Yeah, Nick Cannon. Yeah, for sure. He is doing it in an
He's not
unarticulated
okay. He's
way.
not faithful to nobody, and he's not committed to anybody.
Oh, he's
So
married. Nick
who's
Cannon's
he
married.
married to?
I don't know.
I didn't know Nick was married because I just seen him just having babies. Love you, Nick, but those women are not happy. They're settling for what they've
See,
been given.
this is why I say most women should not marry the man. They should marry the legacy.
No, he's not
Whether
married.
that sound whether that's equal to you better off marrying his legacy than marrying him. You know what I
Wow,
mean?
that's
Because you're
sad.
gonna no, it's not sad.
Well, no, it's sad
You
because
really
it's
think
like it's like more like materialistic or like ego driven versus for love, and it just sucks to hear that. That's
no, no. That's so you gonna marry him for love then? Okay, cool. He's broke with no money and ain't got no house or whatever, but you love him to death. You gonna marry him?
if he's
That
treating you
part.
right. He got 8 kids by 8 different women.
But you love him.
It's a simple life.
Love have no
Comes
boundaries.
home every day and he snuggles up with just me. I ain't got to worry about
Right.
monkeypox.
Right. He got 8 babies. He
Nick
ain't
Cannon's
tripping.
not married.
You go
You're right about that. I stand to be corrected. Not
look.
married.
He's
Hey.
not married.
So
He's just
Can't
going
find any
around,
wives.
sleeping around, and that's dangerous.
lesbian relationships have the most domestic violence too. Lesbian
What?
relationships, woman on
Oh,
woman,
lesbian.
most they have the most domestic violence.
I mean, I don't know.
That's woman on woman. So that lets you know who's really bringing on the domestic violence in a man
I mean, I know
relationship.
women can be,
And you know most domestic violence, not all. I'm not gonna say all right, but it's been proven that it's been triggered by the woman, right? It was triggered, but I'm not saying all of them. I'm not saying all, right? Because I want to make that clear. Right?
You don't want motherfuckers coming for
Yeah,
you.
because you'll have a whole bunch of women on here like, what did you say?
I don't give a fuck. No, I don't give a fuck. There's just some stupid ass motherfucking dudes out there, right? I'm being straight up. There's some stupid ass dudes out there. So I'm not gonna put those women in that pot. I'm just talking about the ones who just got a fucking mouth and they don't know when to fucking shut up. All right.
You're talking about
those
the
are the ones
Super
I'm
Bowl
talking
beatings.
about. The Super Bowl beatings.
Yes, like that's the most.
Because that's such a foul. No, you're right.
It's not funny.
You're right.
I'm not laughing at
No,
it. It's not funny.
You're right.
But most
But
women have
it's
been abused
foul.
during Super Bowl because they like bothered the dude or something, and then they just like go off or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, why would you do that? You know, that's like I want your time. That's like a needy ass woman. You need to go find your daddy. You know what I mean? And that's a lot of time I feel like women need their fathers. Like they want the dude to be their father and spin around with them with their dad. I'm not your fucking dad, right? You want me as a quote unquote partner, right? We're partners then.
There's some women can't find their dads.
I was gonna say they don't have dads. It's like some boys don't have.
I didn't too. I didn't too. You think that's a fucking?
Unfortunately, some never. You know what I mean?
Well, go get some therapy.
I don't think your dad should be cuddled up with you though on the couch.
Right. But we're just saying like the neediness of like, you know what I mean? I want to be here with you every way. I want you to go here. I want you to. It's like it's just too much, you know. Sometimes and like men will do that in the beginning. And then they start like, you know what? It's enough of this shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, so men do bait and switch. Okay, that's good to know.
Of course we do.
Hey, check this out. Check this out.
Bait and switch.
Hey, check this out. Check this out. If I'll tell you this: if you get with a man, right, who is like
Perfect.
everything, yeah. Come on, boo, come on, babe, come on, woo, right? You gotta ask yourself. Is he like this all the time? Or he just like this with me? Or at this moment because he's so infatuated that he got a chick in his life. You know what I mean? And a lot of times after they get, what most men get what they want, they'll kind of they'll kind of start moving into what they really are. And most men are boring. We want to chill. You don't want to fucking go out all the fucking time,
right?
Like, come on, man.
And
we give that shit to like, you know what I mean?
I mean, you said you're boring. I didn't. You said it. I didn't. I can't help it if you're boring.
You said most men are boring, and it's right because for the most part, you're absolutely right. But I take that bait switch, the comment back because
no, you don't. No, you don't.
No, women are more bait switch than we are. They're way more bait switch than we are. We like to entice you guys in the beginning and show you nice things, but we don't switch it up. We still that same nigga. We just, you know what I mean? It gets boring after a while to us. We want to do something new.
Okay.
Are this for the most part we want to chill, like Biz said. It's been a long time. You know, I used to tell my girl she used to get so pissed. She'd be like,
"That's right, game face.
Like, you're so funny. Oh, you're so funny." I said, "Holla at me in a year." I said, "Eventually, my jokes are not going to be so funny. At some point, my jokes are not going to be so funny." Because she's like, "Why you say that? I know you're a funny guy." And I'm like, "Yeah, but there's gonna be times you're gonna be upset or you just be tired of me just joking. You like, I heard that shit before." You know what I mean? Same thing. Anniversaries. That shit gets old. Shit gets old real fast.
And you know what? Notice they don't know what most women don't know what we want.
Of course,
most women don't know.
They don't voice it. If you tell your woman what you want, then she will know. I mean, we're not.
Because if we say it, then your ass gonna be like, "Oh, wait, I ain't fucking with you, motherfucker. You this, you misogynistic, right?" So we can't say that, but you can claim that. Like I can say I don't want no big woman. I don't want her this size. I want her to think like this. I want woo. Oh, well, you this, that, and that, right? You should accept a woman for who she is, because she's a beautiful woman. Period.
But I think it's fair that a man say what he wants, because a woman's not Sherlock Holmes.
You
think
it's fair, not other women.
Just like most people think Jesus is a real thing, that women, most women think like that. You know what I mean?
That's like borderline blasphemy.
It's blasphemy. That was blasphemy.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Not real. It's not real.
That's like
Yahushua is real.
that's
But
like you said.
Jesus
Oh,
not real.
I guess Noah Ark wasn't real either, huh?
Go find it for me. Then let me
Oh,
know.
They already found parts of the ark.
Oh, thank you. They already found the
That was
shit.
that was Hollywood. But
No,
let me
that
know.
wasn't Hollywood.
Well,
Yeah,
okay,
that's
let me know.
crazy.
You go
There's been
find it. Let
so
me
many
know.
biblical things that have been found to verify the Bible. That's what's crazy. And atheists found them.
Extract from the Bible. It said that the Noah's Ark had landed on a certain mountain. So they went to go look for this in that
And they
mountain
found
area.
parts.
They found
And
that.
these were atheist archaeologists that found biblical
Bro,
things.
go
There's
look it up.
people who've written books about that. So that's like
That's-
neither here nor there.
You know what? They
Okay,
just
so you don't have. I'm finna bring you guys. Okay, so
There's
there's
been
this thing I
enough things
watched.
found in earth to let you
No,
know that
hey,
the Bible did happen. From
I'm glad
places
that
in the Bible that have
um,
been discovered and have
you know
been,
what. Hey, have y'all
restored.
seen Jesus' tomb? Have y'all seen Jesus' tomb?
I
I
haven't.
haven't, but I would love to
He
if
don't
I
got
could.
no damn tomb. He don't have a tomb.
Okay,
Y'all know
so
Jesus didn't. Hey, y'all know Jesus didn't die on. Y'all,
no,
hey, did he die on the
wait,
cross?
Just
Did he
like
die
there's
on the
no Red
cross?
Sea,
no.
right?
Be
Did,
clear.
wait. Did
Wait,
he die on the cross?
You wait. You black blast. You said Jesus
Did he
is
die
not
on the
real.
cross?
Yeah,
You
he
think
did that.
Jesus is not real.
He's not. It's Zeus. It's a decoded name for Jesus, which came from Caesar
Ooh, we
Borgia.
Lord
Caesar
Jesus.
Borgia is a Roman guy who was like homosexual. He fell in love with Michelangelo, and he
Oh
painted
my
pictures of him
gosh.
that predicted him as Jesus Christ. You can see it. You can follow. Just go follow the money, man. I'm telling y'all, just follow the money. That's all. It's not a rocket
He
science.
said
It's really
follow.
not hard. It just follow the money, right? Just follow Jesus and Caesar Borgia. It will
We
pop
can't
all of
follow
up
him
out of your
according
face.
to you because he doesn't exist.
But you can find him on Google. Shit, motherfuckers can Google shit all damn day. You know what I mean? You find me artifacts where Jesus is real,
There's
and
all
I'll be like,
kinds of stuff that's been
it's
found.
not.
If
He's
you're a
his
history
name
buff,
is
you see
Yehoshua, which was Joshua. He was a guy that dwelled over. There was over
even
in
people
Middle
who
East.
aren't Christians believe in Jesus. That's what's crazy about what you're saying.
But
Muslims
Jesus
believe
is
in
a
Jesus.
fucking. That's a farce. It's a fucking
Okay,
guy
so
whose
Muslims
name
believe
is
in
Zeus.
Jesus, Buddhists believe in Jesus, every religion believes in Jesus. They believe in Jesus. They may not believe the same as what Christians believe of him, but they do believe in him and they
Who
do
is
know
he
he's a
then?
real person.
Who is he then?
Well, every religion has their own thoughts of who they think he is, but
Who is he? Well,
he
who you
definitely
think
walked
he
this
is?
earth. He definitely was here.
Who you think he is?
You don't think he's around, so we're just gonna have to
No, not what I think. I ask you,
throw
who
some
do you
holy
think he is?
water through the phone. But he is a real person that walked this earth.
Yeah, he is. His name is Caesar Borgia. They got a movie about it.
Gosh. Oh my goodness. Did you guys
It's
talk
real
about
simple.
Karen? Did I miss
Hey, it's real.
Karen?
Hey, hold on, just so I can bust some people bubbles right quick. I'm gonna go ahead and bust y'all bubbles right quick. I'm gonna get some people mad at Biz. Like, what the fuck, Biz? Biz is over here on some crazy shit. Jesus is real. No, Jesus is Caesar Borgia.
Don't let the devil distract you and bring you into the holy hands of Satan.
Yeah.
None of that shit. None of it. You doing the same. You're doing the same reading a person does a reading in the Bible, and then says, "This is true."
Look. If y'all didn't wait. If y'all didn't know who Caesar Borgia is, right? We just showing you Caesar Borgia. I'm just showing you Caesar Borgia. That's all. Just so
Right.
you guys gonna do some research on him. You guys gonna do some research.
I'm doing
And
this research on Caesar.
and
I do like
and
Caesar salad though.
and why? Because you don't want to know the truth. Most people don't want to know
I know
that
that
that's
ain't the
actually
truth.
Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna go
That
read
that's
it
who they depicted as
just
Jesus
to hear
Christ.
your fuckery, because that's just, you have to understand that looks like it was in Roman times when Jesus himself was name was written way before that. I'm
His
just
name wasn't Jesus. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Y'all don't get it.
Yahshua. Yahshua.
right, which is an actual black dude who was dwelling over in the Hebrew
Okay,
territory.
Mr. Israelite.
Black.
It's not an Israelite thing. That's what I'm telling you. I don't believe in all that shit. Like I'm telling you.
The
I'm just
Israelites are
glad.
really
No, no,
big
no,
on,
no.
and
Check,
Jesus
check,
was
check.
black. He
I'm
had an
just glad.
afro, and he was
No,
dark
check.
skinned like Jesse
Whether
James. You're like,
hey,
well,
cool. And I just played you a video that showed you some motherfuckery of some dude that was over in
Let me ask you.
1960s who was the CIA found some crazy dude said he was Jesus. You know what I mean? Like all this shit is
No, no,
fucking
no, no.
yeah,
crazy,
it's
right?
gonna come up more and more. There's gonna be false
You said
prophets that
Jesus is
come
not.
up more and more.
Do you believe any parts of the Bible?
Yes, he does. He was quoting scriptures.
I know. I have to like wrap my head around what the fuck he just said about Jesus.
He
Well,
was
it's
So
just a
you don't
quoting
believe
manipulated book.
scriptures.
Huh?
It's just a manipulated book. That's all.
Oh
Okay,
my
Like
I
there's
agree.
scriptures that's not in
I
there.
totally agree with you. It is
That's why
definitely
that's why I said in order to understand the Bible, you have to read it in parables, allegories, and scientific matters.
even in
With
the
the
Bible.
with the apocrypha that speaks of people that being here millions of years before human, blase blase, even Maccabees, even Enoch.
Well, I can tell you this: there's people who are 8, 9, 7, and 10 years old that gave their life to Christ, and they didn't read any of those books and
You know they
parables.
used to do
God
that to
just
our
came into
people.
their heart, and they gave their life to Christ, and they've been
You
living for Christ ever since. So,
they did that to our like the people, like our people when they like put us on them boats, right? They split it up the young and the old, killed off the old, brought the young over and taught them doctrinated Christianity, to
so what
teach
about
them to
the
be
white people who are Christians? They didn't come on boats. What about the Mexican people that are
the
Christians?
ones
They
who
come on
did it.
boats.
Like
What about the Asian people who never got on boats and got dropped off like we did? What about all the
you
African
not even
people that
hear
were
me. Like
never ever
but
slaves? I mean, I'm just
which
saying
is
there's a
that
whole bunch of people that
which
didn't
is
have
like
that history.
which is what the Roman Church does. They go to different places around the country and they establish their government and their religion to rule over. They use religion and policies to rule the nations. I'm telling you, man. And the fact that most people don't see that is like wild, right? When the Pope went to when the Pope and all these other religious people went to Africa, what broke off?
Yeah,
Ebola
but
broke
they're
off.
Pope, they're
Wait,
Catholic.
wait. No, whether you like it or not, Catholic is really Christianity. It's the same thing.
They don't believe that, so
It's like
they
it's
don't
like
believe that.
they have the
So
same things. They have the same a lot of similarities. They do have
it's
they have
like
similar stuff, but
it's
they
like
don't believe that.
blues. It's like blues and rock music.
it's like
That's
blood
all
and
the
grip,
difference.
to be
Right.
honest.
That's all the difference. Yeah, it's
Like butter and grits.
exactly. Blood and grits. What?
Crips.
Butter and grits.
Yeah, butter and grits instead of salt and pepper. Right.
Right. And like we getting comments in here. I've been really
Crips.
fucking up on the comments. I'm sorry, y'all. You know, she said,
Yeah, you
Daisy
got it.
said, Jesus is real. She said, and is Zeus, right? Which is the same people. But go look it up. Uh, I promise he is, Daisy,
Zeus was
because
supposed
he is real.
not a demigod.
But it's the people gave him a face based on an artist.
Correct.
I was-
A gay one at that.
Who was the artist?
A gay
Michelangelo.
my,
All right, and who did Michelangelo like? Caesar
a gay
Borgia. And Caesar Borgia kept hearing these stories about this guy, and he wanted to be that. There's a whole book. Go read the Spanish Inquisition.
yeah, but
Like
this
a lot of
you
people
just
don't
said it.
like, man, y'all gotta read shit, man. Like, this is not a person that's the Jesus. Jesus broke it down in the Latin term is Jesus. You break that down in the Greek, it's hell Zeus. It's and that's what people don't like. They don't look at words.
Is
Words aren't spelled.
is
Words.
you realize you just
Oh
said
my
Caesar
god.
Borgia was taking the liking of the looks of Jesus, right? By Michelangelo because they were fucking, right? That's the real of it. But
No,
nevertheless,
no, 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 no. You
Michelangelo
twisted
was
it.
fucking
No,
the
you
dude
twisted it.
Borgia. See, but from what I hear, that's what he was
He
doing.
fucked his sister too. The motherfuckers was
Okay,
weird.
this is what I'm saying though. Jesus was still real had to come from somewhere for him to even get the depiction of him. Because Constantine is the one that told him to do all that shit. Take these out the Bibles, and I'm going to be
His
able
name was
to
Jesus.
give me a better picture of Jesus.
Hey, y'all could do a word
You
breakdown.
guys are
It's
goofy.
real
That's all
simple.
I'm gonna say.
Just do a word breakdown, and you would say that, and you would see that the word Jesus in Greek is called Jesus. In Spanish, it's Jesus. In English, it's Jesus. The same fucking thing.
But you say
Same
don't exist.
fucking thing. It ain't fucking real. That shit is a fucking like, and people like to say like the mythical gods and like the Greek gods and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a little vague on that. You know what I mean? But that's why I see like this Jesus story. People are conflating. They're thinking Jesus is one person when he's not. Like he's a total different person. But they use it's like if we all thought like, I don't know, I'm gonna be stupid. Like Nick Van Exel was LeBron James, and we're praising Nick Van Exel, but it really was LeBron James, and we just keep conflating. And it's been taught throughout history that everybody should just praise Nick Van Exel. You know what I mean? And it's not. It's like we have to understand the truth and where it comes from, the ancestry behind it, the history behind it. Where are these words about? Nobody ever questioned the Bible when they was in church. Because why? The pastor said it, and grandma said it, and that's what you go do. Don't fucking question the Bible. Boom, 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 and God is gonna be there. We're not knowing that you are God within yourself, that you can possess things upon yourself, and people blame, oh, that was God. God blessed me with $1,000. No, you got the $1,000. It's like to say that, like, you know what I mean, to say that we base everything, or like when things happen, or the devil is fucking with me. No, you're concentrating on the foul shit. You know what I mean? We always got something to blame. It's like it's always a blame game. Nope.
Yeah, so you don't believe in spiritual warfare. We get it.
Once again, you're fucking wrong about that. Greeks, yes, Jesus came from fucking their meaning of Jesus, which were Greek, came from all hail Zeus.
That's all I was saying. That's all I was saying.
Their meaning of Jesus came from hell Zeus. Greeks believed in mythology. Who the fuck was mythology? So many other gods. And one of their gods.
Thank you. There you go. Hey, that's all. You got it. You getting there. Come on.
What do I getting there?
You think you're proving me wrong, but you're actually proving me right.
No, you just said Jesus wasn't real. Did you not? Jesus is very.
He doesn't believe that himself. He doesn't believe that himself because he be quoting scriptures and all that kind of stuff.
The Greek understanding of his name, which came from Hebrew, how they understood it, interpreted it, was for
Hebrews
them.
Are not Greek.
It said all hail Zeus. It had
Hebrews
nothing
are not
to do with
Greek.
actually being from Zeus or not. I just read
Hebrews are not.
In a matter of fucking 1 minute. Read 3 different centuries from the 1200s all the way up to 2022 what they believed in.
What Greeks believe in, or what? The Greeks are not like the Greeks turned into the Romans. You know that, right? The Greeks turned into the Romans, right?
Oh, I totally understand that.
Okay, so when they turned to the Romans, it just only transferred. So to say that, oh, that's not like we have to use actual common sense and logical thinking.
My common sense is very much intact. What I'm saying
so
is,
how could you not see that?
See what that they're it says clear as day that they're understanding.
Face is so funny. Okay, look, common sense knows that you're goofy and you, I don't know, you Christian, but you ain't really Christian, and he knows he Christian. So I don't even know why you're even talking about this. You can't be quoting the Bible but saying Jesus ain't real.
He's not.
Okay, but you're quoting biblical stuff. But
because I read the book, I was deep in it. I'm telling you why I was deep in it. I was deep in it. I was birthed in the shit. I was so deep in it that I was quoting. I was in big mega churches doing this shit too.
The moment
it's because no wait. It's because we saw some shit that didn't apply. That look, we could see some that doesn't equal, right? And to say that, oh, this person is fucking real because we've seen it. We've seen him. He's been around here, right? It's fucking false. False as fuck. Show me some artifacts. Can nobody show me no artifacts?
Desi crazy. Desi, She said,
For right. I'm a fight biz. For real.
He's
I'm,
just
I'm
trying to
telling you.
be,
I'm telling you, that motherfucker is not
Biz just
real.
be trying to be,
Hey, don't get into don't get into the book. Hey, Jesus Christo is not real. Jesus Christo is not real, man. I'm telling you, his real name is
just don't
Caesar
be saying
Borgia.
that Zeus shit out loud. I guess that you got to word it a little different because the way you
Nah,
say
that shit ain't. That's
everybody's
what it
looking
means.
like,
Hell Zeus. When niggas say Jesus,
I
they
just go
saying
like
Hell
this.
Zeus.
exactly.
They don't know. They don't know. They
just say that.
Like who? Like and that's the part that I love researching. Is he real? He's not a real
Well,
person.
research Acts
He's not
2:38.
real. I'm telling y'all, hey, people, all the people that's watching,
Research.
go do research.
Revelations chapter
No.
12.
Don't look. That's the part. See, that's the part what Christian people do. They always say, "Go to
Research
the Bible," right? They always say, "Go to the Bible," and
You
that's what
like
Israelites do.
history?
Wait. Stop. Israel, no, stop. Israelites do that too. They say the Bible got all the questions. Bible got all the answers,
All
right?
the answers.
But then the same Israelites, Hebrews, they're literally bringing out artifacts to back up what they're talking about from the Bible. What the
But if
Bible's
you
talking
said
about.
it's not real, so it doesn't matter.
No, I said Jesus is not real.
Well, he can't be real, but then there's artifacts about it in the Bible.
No,
Like
they put the Romans put his name in the Bible. Y'all don't get that. The
okay, so
Romans
the
put this
artifacts are for
Jesus
somebody else, for
Christo
Roger.
in the Bible and redoctrinated it to the people. We don't have the same book that's in America. We don't have the same book that's in America that's in
Have you ever seen
Europe.
$1 trillion?
Whether people may like it a lot.
Have you ever seen $1 trillion?
No.
Have you ever seen $1 trillion?
No. No.
Is it
Let me
real?
just answer the question. No.
Is it real?
When I see it, I believe it exists. I've seen people. I've seen people accumulate it. I've seen people grab
but
it.
You haven't seen it. He's saying.
Yeah, you literally see somebody accumulate $1 trillion.
I seen there's a couple companies. There's a billionaire over in Dubai that just his company did over 3 trillion.
But you haven't seen it.
Physically seen them
see,
have
no,
it.
see, that's the part. See, I can see examples. There's examples that would show me that this is fucking real, right?
But you don't want to believe examples in the Bible that
stop. Hold on. Hear me out.
Lord Jesus.
Oh wow, see, now
I didn't get my church out.
No, check me out. Look, check me out. Right? Nobody's have ever seen Jesus.
What are you? Now that's a lie.
They seen Yahushua, and the Ethiopian is the only one that saw him, and he was killed by his own people on a fucking tree, not a fucking cross.
Somebody
on a
said
tree.
now we're back to step one.
No, he wasn't killed on a tree either. It was a fucking Roman X. They used to crucify the people on X's.
Does it matter if it was a tree or
all right, man. I'm gonna have to pull up my shit, man. I'm gonna have to
house.
Hey, I see y'all on the hey. Matter of fact, fuck all that. I'm gonna see y'all on the next podcast Wednesday, and I'm gonna bring out artifacts to break all this shit down. Cause y'all obviously don't even have the open mind to even say, well, let me go look it out, see if there's any truth to that. You just already negated. They just like, nope, he's wrong, nope. That's only he say, she say. Nobody's ever researched the shit that they really believe in. Have you researched the shit that you really believe in? Nobody. I had to question a lot of this shit.
I have it. Yeah, no.
Well, we have you giving us all the knowledge because you just said that you found artifacts in the Bible.
Obviously, you don't believe the knowledge because you're like, no, Jesus is real and the Bible is real, and that's all truth in the Bible. And it doesn't talk about rape, and it doesn't talk about molestation, it doesn't talk about this and that. And I'm like, well, Bible talks about racism. Bible talks about some of the most darkest shit on the planet, and the Bible deals with people who are going through the most darkest times.
This is
This is how they were. But that's only for believers.
This is how they were crucified back in the day. That is literally a depiction. Well, not skin color, but the Romans used to crucify them. Their dead are the people on X's. This is something that's not taught. You have to go look it up and research yourself, and that's for sure a fact. For a fact, I know that for a fact. And it's not something I'm just making up. They did the X's. I don't know why they make people believe in this, which is definitely false because it wasn't that way. That's a fact. That's a real Roman crucified.
I'm gonna bring out biblical. I'm gonna bring out the Bible on y'all to show y'all Jesus died on the cross.
Yeah, that's still a cross. Just because it's an X doesn't make it a cross. Not a cross. What are they doing? One branch is crossing the other, still across. I don't know why they made it into a T. Makes no sense. Maybe it looked better. I don't know. I tried researching that too.
I see y'all Wednesday. I'll see y'all Wednesday. We're gonna bring out some real article facts that y'all can fucking back up. Y'all can go research this shit and back up through the Vatican, through the motherfucking through the Library of Congress. I mean facts. CIA type shit, FBI type facts. These niggas hold
There's no
information.
facts in
Oh my God,
America
check this out.
that
Did
says
you
it's not
did
real.
you know that the Vatican holds 5 miles of black history? Nobody knew
It
that.
has nothing to do with Jesus not being real.
I did not know that. That's very interesting to know.
I'm just telling you information that you're not accumulated to like even be aware to even go seek out because you already like what Jesus is real as fuck. I know he's real because I feel his spirit everywhere. How do you know? What does he sound like?
Well, get us some research on how we can get our 40 acres and a mule.
No. We're gonna get with this Jesus shit first. We gotta get this fucking doctrine shit issued out, and then we could deal with the real. Nobody like people don't look at their finances when the Bible speaks solely on finances, big time on finances, right? Big time. I'm telling you, I was deep in this book, man. I've read some dark shit. Revelations is my favorite. That's my favorite because it deals with like, you know what I mean, all the
End
four
times.
horsemen and like what's the end times looking at.
Yeah, and that's crazy when you say
You know
you
what I
don't
mean?
believe in any of that because that stuff is all going to come to
But
pass.
it's dealing with scientific matters, right? You know what the four horsemen are?
You don't believe in it, so it doesn't matter.
No, do you know though? That's the point. You believe in it, so do you know what the four horsemen are?
Yeah, the angels of death.
What do they symbolize though on Earth though? They're a symbolization of something,
The
right?
end of
That's
days. The end of days. The end of days and Jesus'
the
return.
four horsemen symbolizes the four biggest nations that are on the fucking Earth that's ruling.
Will all be one.
And they all would go up against each other. Russia, China, America.
What is the four biggest nation? I thought it was 5, but
no, it's the four horsemen. But the whole thing is that it talks about overtaking it, right? And it talks about them. Wait. It talks about how the Israelites are not going to have to, like, this is not a flesh war. This is not a carnal war. This is a spiritual war.
But
you know what I mean?
all that stuff
And
is not real.
wait, check. Oh my God! How you go? See, that's the point. You don't know the Bible like I know the Bible. I researched this book so fucking much. I spent 15 years dissecting this book.
You can't say that she don't know the Bible like you know the Bible,
bro. I'm bringing out actual. To know the Bible is to know the Bible in symbolism, artifacts, scientific matters, and understand that the Bible is really and it's a science book. People don't know that it deals with chemicals.
You don't believe in it.
It deals with. I'm telling you. Oh my God! I'm telling you a book that I fucking studied, and I can tell you now, like that Roman book has been rewrote, and I stand strong on that. And the book that's been preached in America is not the book that's over in Ethiopia where the actual Hebrew Israelites came from, or Jerusalem where they actually came from. Not the same book.
You're right. You're right. Constantine.
So the belief system in America is not the belief system of the true Hebrews. That's what I'm saying. So to believe in someone that's a monolith or a mythical God, right? That would like, he's kind of a mythical God. I've only seen artifacts and true, like where the tomb, they took pictures of the room where Jesus stayed, right? Like Yahushua, right?
Jesus said he wasn't real, so he couldn't stay there.
Check. Where Yahushua stayed, because we're talking about Jesus. So Jesus is, but where Yahushua stayed, right? And this room was so well put. I was like, wow, that's a beautiful thing. I can see how these people are still holding to those rituals and to those attributes. You know what I mean? Like you could tell the way they eat is different. They eat just like the rituals. You know what I mean? In the good book and all of that, right? They still follow those because there's 2 different books. I'm showing y'all that there's 2 different books, right? The one that the Romans put out across the world, but then there's the one that is the actual one that came from that land, and his name was not Jesus. It wasn't Jesus. You know what I mean? And Christ is only a short word for Christian. You know what I mean? And with which they said it was called the chief of the chief, like the, you know what I mean, the high chief or whatever. You know what I mean? Or a high priest, you know, things like that. But so me, I look up words and I love looking up and dissecting words, right?
You have
And
logos? You should get logos.
so I'm not hating the Bible. I don't think I'm, you know, what I mean, I don't think that's like what my message is. My message is not that. My message is telling people to go research. If I'm wrong, just do your own research and don't just do like, you know what I mean? You got to go into Google Scholar. I want y'all to hit Google Scholar. You know what I mean? Google Scholar would, you know, bring us some artifacts and, you know, things like that. If you guys don't know what that is, but it's called Google Scholar. You guys go online and type in Google Scholar, and it's a whole nother profile where a lot of scholars and different people, you know, post artifacts and shit like that. And you know what I mean? And just do your research. And you know what I mean? I think we'd be all good. Um, and the Karen situation is something that was a video of Terrell Owens, and you know what I mean? And she looked at him as
You gonna be playing?
a yes, sure.
All right, hold on.
And I'll just give a little
No, go ahead.
context.
Go ahead. Finish what you were saying.
Why? No. Go ahead. Why you bring it up? Why you bring it up? I'll just, and when you bring it up, I'll stop. And you know, he was, you know, making his way to his destination, and she looked at him as the big black guy, the angry black guy.
Oh, my bad.
Community that admits he's just a big, scary black man talking to a white woman. Yeah, she admits it. Let me take you to the first part of the video. Here it is.
I'm good. What's up, sir?
What's going on, folks?
I'm driving to my mailbox. She telling me I'm speeding, telling me to slow down.
Slow down, and he rolled down his window and he started harassing.
First of all, I didn't harass you. She's telling me to slow down. I said, what do you mean slow down? I said, yo, I'm just going to the mailbox. Then she goes, get the out of the middle of the road.
He almost hit me.
First of all, I didn't almost hit you. Now you're just making up stuff.
No, I literally
just like a Karen.
You almost hit me.
I did. How did I almost hit you? And I'm going to the mailbox. Yeah, I called you a Karen when I came over here after you said I called the police. Absolutely. Then you went on to say, oh, I'm the subject of the HOA meeting, this and that and the other. I got liens on my house, this and that and the other. Then you start bringing up my status, who I was, my HBO, my VH1. You the one brought it up, lady. I did it. You did it. You did.
Hey, folks.
First of all, I didn't almost hit her. So, no, I'm fine, sir. First of all, I didn't almost hit her.
I understand that. Just relax.
Not finna sit up here.
He ran the stop sign.
Well, there is no stop sign. What are you talking about?
I understand. Where you hit?
I wasn't, but I asked him to slow down, and he got out of his car and started harassing me. He put his car in park.
Right, because you're going to yell at me and telling me I'm almost hit you, and I didn't.
But you didn't have to get out of your car.
You didn't have to talk to me that way either, Karen.
You're a black man approaching a white woman.
First of all, your boy right here, your husband right here. So first of all, I don't do that type of stuff.
Relax. You did. You put your car in park and you came at me.
First of all, I didn't come at you.
Yes, you did.
You can stop all of that, Karen.
All right. You can. You got the gist of it. So he makes it out, and you know everything turned out okay. But the guy that's reporting this on TBT, TYT, I'm sorry, TYT. He's you know, talking about the issue, and he goes in depth about it. And this was sent to me from Maggie, and I just kind of, well, there's another video that I have, but I ain't gonna play it right now. But I just kind of like figured that as black men, he did a great job protecting himself by having the camera there. Like honestly, and that's something that I feel where I really fear that it can escalate bigger. You get what I mean? It can escalate really bigger where that can become a problem for, black men. Now, what I do see is that there are a lot of women, other white women who are speaking against the Karens. You know what I mean? They're stepping up to the Karens and like, hey man, well, now we may not see it as prevalent because we only could see what's on our news feed and what we see outside of our doors, right? And if that's the only perception of to see, like, because that's really it. Like that's really on unless we're traveling every day. Like if you're like myself, like I hit a state every other day, new state, right? So I'm seeing the country for what it really is in a sense, right? I don't have social media in front of my face all the time because every time I go outside the door, I'm in a new place. And people are different everywhere. You know what I mean? We might act commonly the same, but we different. I have not ran on Karens. I have not had the Karens do me like this. But I don't deal with a lot of, when like shit like this, I mean, as far as like, I just think he did a good job protecting himself with the video. What are your thoughts?
Oh no,
Go ahead.
are you gonna say okay? I didn't know if that was on there or not. I mean, my thoughts on this whole thing was number one, a lot of us have dealt with Karens on different levels,
Have
right?
you
Yes, like
really? What
because
experience?
okay, for example, in corporate America, black women who are intelligent, who are successful, who are
Get it,
doing
girl.
the dang thing are
Get
always
it,
looked at
girl.
as aggressive, but a
True.
white woman who's just as aggressive or not aggressive, but just as educated, just as smart is looked at as, oh, she's smart, she's a leader, she's phenomenal, she's this and that. But when a black woman's that way, oh, she's very aggressive, she's very domineering, she's intimidating because we want excellence, right? Um,
Hmm.
and so for someone to say, what triggered me is when she said, you're a black man walking towards my car, justifies him being a threat. Her saying, oh, you passed a stop sign. And he goes, there is no stop sign. I didn't hear in that clip because there's another clip where his neighbor goes, he wasn't speeding. She goes, oh yeah, he was speeding. I mean, she made up all kind of lies. He was speeding. He passed a stop sign. He
He
was
hit her.
aggressive.
Right. She said
And
he
then
hit
she
her.
started crying. She was in the beginning of the video, she's very, feisty, but then towards the end, she starts crying. What am I supposed to do? I was scared.
Why'd your ass get out the car and go talk to this motherfucker then if you was
If you're
fucking scared?
scared, why are you screaming and yelling at somebody? Why not just
No,
drive and
you're
go
right.
about your business?
You're right.
Why are
You're
you
right.
yelling outside your car window at him?
Right.
Just
Right.
leave.
Right. If you were that scared.
But yeah, a lot of us go through different things like that. We're just not famous and we just don't have videos there to show people, like, hey, do you see, how this is being portrayed?
It's and it's another thing. It is sad that we have to go through this, and I don't think black women see this enough. Like, yeah, they might go through the Karens, but black men go through it a lot more,
Oh, of
a
course.
whole lot more. And I don't see a lot of accountability in black women to understand that part. Like, okay, yes, we may look at our black men a certain way, but then again, they do have to battle the world, not just come home and deal with us, but they have to go out and deal with the Karens and deal with the haters and deal with their own people. You know what I mean? Trying to manipulate a situation or whatever. We know that's common. I'm talking about like generalized common shit, right? And so I can see how some accountability can be taken on the other side. You know what I mean? Like on black women's side for black men to have a like something like this shouldn't have happened in the form of a dead where it just died off. Like black women should be like full blown behind this thing. Like, oh
I'll take
no.
Black women are full blown behind this because, first of all, when's the last time you saw T.O. with a black woman?
See, that's what I'm saying. Why does he have to be with a black woman? Like, why do I have to like that's foul when
I'm just
they'll
saying,
do
I'm just
no
saying
no
he
no
can
no no
rep
no
it
no no.
for us.
That's so foul when black women will stand up for the woman that's in Supreme Court. She's married to a white guy. You don't hear no black women talking about that.
We don't know. I don't even know who she is, so I can't.
The black woman that's in Supreme Court. I'll pull her up.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I don't know her.
First
So I
black
can't
woman.
really
She's the
say.
first black woman in Supreme Court, but she
Uh,
has a white guy. You know, Oprah has Stedman. She ain't never dated a
he is
black man.
not white. No, I'm just saying in a sense of it's black women are always going to have his back and say, hey, that ain't cool. But I'm saying he ain't going to have no uproar. People like, oh, because like he only dates Karens. So it's like, you know what I mean? If you look at his track record of women he's dated, love you, T.O., promise, mean it. But one or two black women, and then you got a whole roster of all these white women you've been with. So it's
So,
kind of
and
like, well, you're used to dealing with them. So,
but he has
let me.
black kids, right? He got black kids, right?
I don't
Yeah,
know that to be true. I've never
yeah,
seen his kids. I know all his girlfriends that are all over the place are always white. So
yeah.
it was just kind of shocked to hear him say Karen, and it was just a very shocking situation because he's so intertwined with white women, right? So it was just so weird to
But
see
he's
that
not with a bunch.
whole, huh?
You think he's with a bunch of Karens?
All look at all his girlfriends; they're all white or they're not
Right,
black.
but that don't
They're
mean they're
like,
Karens, though.
well, but I mean, to us as black women, we look at most white women as being Karens to our
Do
men because we
do
know that if they have an opportunity to put our men in jail or to make our men look like rapists or make them look like they're bad, they're gonna do it to save their own butt.
Okay, well, black women do that way more than white women on a normal basis. So
Well, I mean,
we're not gonna have that combo. Let's not have that. Let's not go there.
I don't think a
I don't
black
want to have
woman
that
would have
combo.
done that what you just heard in that video. I don't think a
Yeah, but
black
he
woman
would
would
have
have
been
called a
locked.
cop to say, "Oh, this black dude came running over to me. What was I supposed to do?" That wouldn't be our go-to.
They wouldn't have
Our
believed
go-to
her.
would be like, "Why are you walking up to my car? What's your problem?" Or we're gonna just drive off because we don't want any problems.
They wouldn't believe her though. If she did, they wouldn't believe her. You know what I mean? Even if she did, like, call the cops or whatever, they still, you know what I
We
mean?
wouldn't
Because
do
I
that. We
like,
wouldn't do
right,
that.
right, right, but right. Do you think you think black women not are a little upset? I'll put out because I'm not gonna say jaded, but I'm a little upset about the privilege, the white privilege that a white woman get in America. I've never asked that question. You know what I mean? But,
Well, I
do
mean,
black women feel like they have? I know the question. I just want to ask them. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
I'm like, you know the answer.
I
Absolutely.
just wanted to ask you, like,
Most black women like have been passed over for promotions even though we were smarter, we were better fit for the situation, and someone will say, well, we just don't think you're a good fit, or well, we don't know if the culture is the right culture or the right fit for you. And it's like, well, what does that mean? There's women who are way less experienced, way less educated, that get roles and get salaries that we'll never have. That's just a fact. So it's not just black men who go through it, women go through it as well. We just have to accept it or start our own stuff.
hmm. Do you think black women will ever come to a chance to trust black men solely
Not the
without them
way
needing
not
us?
the way that they should, because our communities are too broken. There's too many black men saying too many negative things about their black women, and they should be looking at their black women as their sisters,
Okay.
not as
So we should negate. Wait. So we should negate all the negative shit that they've said about us, right? We should negate all of that. Just because women talk, just forget all of that.
She's
Because
right.
black women has been saying shit about black men for fucking years.
It goes both ways.
Yeah, and it's always going to
Wait,
be
no, no,
that
no,
way
no,
because
no,
our
no, 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 no,
communities
no.
are broken.
Until now, the space of YouTube and the whole manosphere and all of that shit start coming out. Black men start speaking more out, and then that's when of course, the Kevin Samuel, triggered it.
Oh
But
God, I hate
that's
this.
when that's when black women start like, oh well, if you listen to Kevin Samuels, we ain't dating type shit.
It's
It's like
but
when
here's the thing about Kevin Samuels. He did more harm to our communities than good.
no, he did
So
a lot of good.
no, he
I can tell you
didn't.
that
No,
for
he
the men,
didn't.
he did.
No, he didn't. Because a lot of men are
He showed
now
men how to.
about their women who they're very arrogant, they're very rude, they're very just
That
like
wasn't because
they're
of Kevin.
not being men to their black women.
That wasn't
They're
because
looking at the wrong things and saying the wrong things, and that tears down our communities. That tears down our communities. We
I
have to have
understand.
strong leaders who are morally sound in order to get the women from being these negative women to virtuous women. It takes a man to show us how to be a virtuous woman.
When
right?
women are raising those men that they hate.
Exactly. So it's
So
still
who's to blame?
men, because we have to depend. We have to depend on a man to develop and raise and cultivate our communities. That's why men
But
are
if
leaders.
most
That's why men are
right,
stronger. That's why men are put there to be our protectors.
but
But
if
if they're
most
not protecting us, we're left to be alone.
okay,
We're left to fend for ourselves. We're left to be the man. And that's not how it's supposed to be designed.
Kevin helped. I tell you this, Kevin helped a lot of men see their worth. Like he really helped men to see, like, hold on, I don't have to put up with that shit.
He
And
helped men to be more selfish. And that's not how we're supposed to be. We're supposed to
so
be selfless. Men and women are supposed to be selfless. We're supposed to be each other's helpmates, not tearing each other down.
so any
I
relationship is it the man? Go ahead. Go ahead, notice.
I disagree only because to the fact because I listen to a lot of
I
Kevin
can't hear
Samuels.
you.
I listen to a lot of Kevin Samuels things, and I have to
Hello?
disagree. You can't hear me? Anybody else hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear Notice. I can't hear anybody.
Why the
Yeah,
fuck?
we can hear you.
Well, nevertheless, I disagree for the fact that Kevin Samuels.
No, I was just saying like we're supposed to be here to lift each other up, not tear each other down.
Yes, we can't hear you.
And I understand that completely. I understand like we're supposed to be lifting each other up. But the thing about it is, Kevin Samuels help men expose their weaknesses and also expose where black women were doing wrong in the relationship and blaming
Now go
them on us.
notice you killed it right there. Go back. He showed men what?
How to expose themselves and also women, black women, what they were doing in the relationship. He didn't just do it just to make black women look bad because he harped on black men. Look, dude,
Harped on hard on
if
hard.
you in this type of sister, it's your fault.
It's your fault.
If you're a lazy piece of shit, it's your fault. He got on black men really bad, and then it just seemed when women started taking the notion of what he was saying about black women to
he damaging the community.
Then he sought out after like, no, let me really give y'all the truth about certain things. Kat, can you still not hear me?
Can you hear him? Can you hear him? You can't hear him? Cat.
I can't hear anything he's saying.
Oh shit. Oh well. Oh shit. But but wait, what he did was he showed men, he was on men hard for like 5 years. Telling dudes, fat dudes, skinny dudes, niggas ain't got no money, niggas with money, right? Oh, you want that type of woman? You got to get your weight up, my guy. You got to go to therapy, my dude. Like, how you gonna lead her and you fucked off?
Right.
You know what I mean? He would get on dudes so hard, but it wasn't popular. It wasn't popular until the women jump on it. And men was fucking with Kevin Samuels back then. But it became more popularized when women jumped on it. When he used a girl and told her she was average at best, and she was. Every dude would look at her and be like, yeah, she average as motherfucker. You know what I mean? Not saying that she ain't beautiful, so nigga wouldn't fuck. But it's just that she was.
And then because they want to self-live, oh girl.
All I can say is this. He gained all that popularity and look what happened to him. God don't like ugly.
See, that's mean. No, that's mean.
God don't like ugly. I'm just telling you, when you're taking a whole community and you're destroying them and tearing them down, God don't men are not designed.
So you gonna say that about Martin Luther King?
Martin Luther King wasn't.
He cheated on his wife.
No, he
cheated on his wife.
He wasn't on national platforms tearing down his woman.
He was.
No, he
was on national.
No, he was not.
The whole point.
All that stuff was private,
no,
and the FBI put all that stuff out. None of us would have known anything about his cheating or none of that.
Look, Martin Luther King was. Women do not like. There's see, you might not know this, but modern women don't look at Martin Luther King as like, oh, he was a stand-up guy.
But Martin Luther King was
wait. He oh my God.
Those are two different things.
I see, like, okay, I'm with you. All I'm saying is for Kevin Samuels to show correction and give constructive criticism.
Constructive?
Oh yes, very constructive.
Yeah.
You know, you know what the crazy part is? Women only watch the foul shit. They never watch the other women that's coming on there saying,
They don't
Kevin,
like
you
the-
help me. Kevin, I was going to leave my husband, but because of watching other women on this show, I'm so thankful I have him now.
And
Just
look,
because I know how women are now.
and
Well,
like
I
this,
couldn't follow him because I only heard a couple of things that men sent me, and I wasn't for it. So I don't entertain stuff
you know
like
what's so
that.
crazy?
But
You know what's so
there were
crazy?
certain things that they wanted me to hear, whatever. And as soon as I heard negative stuff like that, I thought, oh my God, what have we come to when a
Without
man
listening.
feels comfortable like telling a girl that, she's never gonna find, you're looking for the one percenters and just all kind of crazy
She
stuff that was
was though. If
And
it's
that's, and
go ahead,
that's the
man.
but I
problem.
mean, you don't
That's the
have
problem with
to
today's society.
tear someone down though
It's not
to
tearing somebody down.
educate them or to give them the knowledge that they need. And to me, it wasn't
Can't hear
edifying.
you, Noah.
It caused more division between us, black, women and men, than it brought us together. It caused more men to be more arrogant, more
I would say it
heartless.
caused men to get on their shit. The man who actually was on it, it caused them to get on their shit. Like I got on my shit even more by watching Kevin. I'm like, oh yeah, I got to get on my
Well,
shit
most
even.
most
No, no,
men,
no, no,
that's
no.
not
Check this
what it
out.
is.
No, that's what exactly what it is. Because they're able to see the correction and see men don't have a problem with submissiveness. We can walk into a room full of men and know where we stand on the hierarchy, right? We understand that. Men don't have no problem with submitting to a higher authority or whatever the case may be. Has nothing to do with he's a bitch and you a punk and it has nothing to do with that, right? But so we can look at Kevin and be like, okay, he knows something that we don't know, and he's fucked up in this area. So at least he's able to teach us where he fucked up at and how to do better. So we ain't got to go through that shit, right? Just like my grandfather sitting me down and saying, hey son, I fucked up on this. I fucked up my first marriage. I did that. So don't do that. Get yourself together. Go do this. Keep your shoes clean. A woman want to see that. You know what I mean? Like what women, you know what I mean? You got to be what a woman want. But then again, you have to pick the right woman. You can't just pick a fucking dud who's just all she wants to do is just spend no time with her and go in and not like have a progression in life. You know, so that's when that whole thing like you got to there's a balance to this, total balance. And then women, he's going to like you see big women come on there and they be like, well, I'm a size 8. He'd be like, you built like 2 linebackers. You weigh more than a man.
That's not right. That's not edifying anybody.
But he was right. He was totally right. When you look at
That's like me saying, hey, you know what? Your kid is ugly. I may be right, but is it helpful? Is it
no?
hurtful?
See, no,
Is it,
that's no.
but I'm saying, you know what I mean? Like that's not cool.
No, that's not. Look, he told her she was built like a linebacker. If you go look up the weight of a linebacker, she weighed just as much of a linebacker. It was facts.
That's not right.
That was fucking facts, though. It might not be right. See, that's the problem. Like men can be straight up with each other with no problem. Like, bro, that's some fucked up. Like that shit is foul. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? We could be straight up with each
I'm
other.
not into the body shaming, so that to me, I'm like, I'm always against that. Like,
so would you date a 300-pound dude?
I don't know, but I wouldn't say, "Oh, you're a fat guy." I wouldn't say that.
Would you date? Would you date?
I'm just saying, like that's not
man?
right. You know what I mean? Like you don't body shame people. If you're not attracted to somebody, you just say, you know what, you're not my type.
Kevin died a
I'm not
legend.
interested, right? But you're not gonna say, oh, you look like a linebacker. I can never be with you. To me, body shaming is totally out. And there's a way to give truth, but give it where you're edifying people and bringing people together, not tearing them down and making them further apart. We already have a problem with our communities already. You know.
So what you think about? TD Jakes?
What about him?
Because he's been coming out with some like controversial shits, talking like he's like kind of becoming like a Kevin Samuels in a way with his messages he been coming up with. You know what I mean?
I haven't heard any messages that are toxic from him. I know he tries to help people, have a better life. He's more of a motivating speaker now.
He was a Christian though, right?
He is Christian, but he's just more about bettering your life and seeing there's other things than just being a Christian, just being a better person, right? But I don't know about the controversial stuff that he said, so I can't speak upon him. But I know some of the things he said and done has blessed my life. You know what I mean? But his religious beliefs or his negative stuff he said lately, I'm not familiar with, so I can't speak upon it. So
So, and it's not like derogatory where he's like telling women what they are and who they are. You know what I mean? One thing I just liked it. I liked Kevin Samuels because of his legendariness. Like the fact that there was no man on the planet was able to set it straight and be my uncle, be my grandfather. That's just how our family would talk. You know what I mean? Like, and we don't like it when it's like, oh, well, you can't speak because it was only women saying that. No men were saying that. And the men that, oh, I'm sorry. The men that were saying that, they were fucking simps. They were fucking beta males, man. Like just straight raised by their mamas. And no, mama's always right. You know what I mean? But where you saw your mama raise your whole fucking life, man. You didn't see an actual man come in and do some shit. Even Kevin said, my dad wasn't there at all. So I had to seek out other men. I have to know what it's like to become a man. What does a man what makes a man?
well, a
You know what I
man
mean?
doesn't
Like,
stop.
no, see, huh?
For him to say that, a man always honors and respects women. A man, a man.
He was being very respectful. He was being very respectful. A lot
Well, a
of the
lot of
women,
women disagree, so that should tell you something. If a lot of
no,
women are disagreeing and saying that he wasn't
you
being a
mean,
gentleman, then we have to kind of listen to the women and say, okay,
okay, so check.
when men are saying
It's
stuff
only
like,
where women don't like it. That's the only problem. It's like,
well, but and that's
you
the
guys should listen
problem.
to us. That is a problem. Why it got to
Because
be
now
where
you
women
have
don't like it?
men and women divided. That's not what if he calls himself a Christian, he should not be causing division.
He, Jesus was
That's
not a
not what that
look.
is. You're supposed to bring people together. He was not doing that. He had men saying all kind of rude stuff to women and looking at women differently and saying, "Yeah, I'm not gonna take that. Yeah, I ain't taking care of no woman." And like, what? A man's supposed to take care of a woman. He is supposed to take care of you.
Not if she got 3 kids and she trying to like get wiped up. Fuck all that. You got me
Well,
fucked up.
you see what I'm saying? That's
Hell
not the
no.
right mindset. That's
That
why our
is the right
communities are
mindset.
tearing
No,
apart.
no, men are not like that. That's what women don't understand. You get a man that's like, most men aren't literally built to take care of another man's kid, and they do not want to. Most
Well,
men, they only deal with it because they the mother.
but most of men have been raised by single mothers.
That's
You
not
got the same way. Women are the same way. My baby mama the same way.
You see
She
what I'm
did that.
saying? Most men are raised by single mothers, and how blessed you could have been if someone would have came into your life and helped your mom out and raised you to be an honorable man. So that's why
she
I don't.
wasn't because she
When
was
someone
fucking them.
says stuff like that, it's so wrong and it's so hurtful because there's a whole bunch of black boys who need father figures and they need someone to step up when their dad didn't. And that type of stuff, for
But they
somebody to be
mom
that
can't.
selfish, for someone to be that selfish, especially for a man who was raised without a dad, he knows the hurt, he knows the pain that he experienced. So why would
That's
you
too much
want
emotion.
to?
Men are not emotional. That's a
Yes,
lot of
some men
emotion.
are very emotional.
No, men are not. No, most men. I put it this way: most men are non-emotional. Like they don't deal with like how women
Of
deal with
course
emotion,
not. But I know most
right?
black men didn't have a father around. And so if you
But
have the
why would I
opportunity to
deal? Check.
change a cycle,
If
if
I
you
got
have the
10 women and they're single, but I got 2 other women who have babies, are you seriously thinking that I would even consider to be with the women that have kids? Now,
I mean, I don't know.
wait,
That's a
check.
personal.
Being a good guy and being an example in front of kids, that's totally different. I don't have to be with the woman to be a good guy. I could be a teacher. Kid going to school, see a teacher. I male example. You know what I mean? I could be the neighborhood trash man. I could be the fucking garden. It doesn't matter. Like he could get the examples from different places. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is like I a man who actually takes the risk on dating a woman who have kids is solely because he really likes her and the
I
kids. He
was
has to take them
about to
care,
say that. I was about to
right?
say, first of all, it's not about the kids at first. It's about the woman. And
Yeah,
there's
that's what I was saying.
you
But
can
that's
have 10 women that you date, and that one woman that has kids is better fit for you. She's
but
your soulmate. She's what God had for you. And
right,
if
but
that's
he's
part of her package, are you going to say, oh, you know what? I'm not going to be with this girl who makes me laugh, who we're compatible in every area because she had a kid by some other guy. I'm going to go get with this girl who doesn't have any kids, even though we don't get along. We don't have anything in common, but she doesn't have any kids. It's like you have to look at each situation for its own situation, not, oh,
most
this person has more baggage than the other person. No, look at the person for who they are because she may
most
build a better empire for you than the girl who doesn't. It
look,
just
most
depends on the woman.
I tell you this, most of the time, if the woman, if she ain't a baddie, like she have to be like very attractive, like just
Or very
very
wealthy.
attractive. Yeah, she could be wealthy. Yeah, cool. But men
Correct.
don't care about your pockets. Men don't really care about your fucking money. Then that's the facts. Like we don't really care about your money because I think anyway. That's
There's
a
women who have kids
but
who are doing way better than some dudes who don't have any kids, or women who don't have
right,
kids. They
and
will
they're
go with
hurt
her
and
versus
lonely,
the other girl.
and they're lonely.
I know what I'm
Men
saying.
have
If a guy had a choice,
women
he's
have
gonna go, okay,
access.
this girl has a house and 4 cars and all this stuff, but she got a kid, and this girl's living on welfare and she ain't got no kids. She's not more attractive than the other girl because he's looking at it like, oh, well, I can actually build
No,
something on her.
no.
She's doing something with her life. This other
See,
girl,
no, that's not. I'm trying to show you, men don't think like that. That's not how men think. We're
Not
so
not
a
telling you.
guy
thinking.
would go get a girl on welfare and take care of her versus getting with somebody who already
Shit,
has this life
the
that he can walk
motherfucker.
into and be like, all right, this is easy, this
I
is cool.
I tell you
She's
this.
chill, she's cool, ain't no drama.
No, I tell you this. If
He's
she's
gonna
no,
choose the other
if she's
girl.
on welfare, that means she have kids. I
No,
rather if
I'm
I had
saying a
to.
girl who's just ain't got it together. She just ain't got it together versus a woman who has it together.
Let's say that woman that you're saying that don't got it. Let's say she works at McDonald's, right? So the one that works that don't got it together just has a normal job at McDonald's, right? But she's pretty as a motherfucker, right? Sweet, calm, great personality, right? But she works at McDonald's. Over the other one who is very successful. She run a couple businesses. She
And
driving
she's
Maybachs
pretty.
around. Cool. I would take the one at Mickey D's. Fucking right. You know why? Because the stress level. That old girl that's got the bank, she got the bread to do what she want to do. If she felt like I'm tripping, blah, 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 nigga, I'm going out with my bitch. We finna go to Barbados, right? The fuck, like how you just go just right? Because she got just as much money as you. You know what I mean? So it's like the she don't look at you as like as a leader or I need you because she's doing her own thing. She's paying her own way. Definitely, if she ain't got no kids, oh, nigga, get out of here. It's a wrap. It's a
Mm.
wrap. You better be on my program, type shit. You get what I mean?
Well, so you say you feel like women that's on a high status already doing their things is not going to see a man as their equal.
No,
No,
I don't think
no.
that. I think
Unless he's making 3 times much more than her. Like if she's making 80 bands, he's better be making at least 120 or
that's not
150.
realistic. You're not going to meet a bunch of black guys who are making 6 figures. That's
You're
not
damn
realistic.
right. But
But
you're right. I'm with you. I'm with you, Miss Cat. But most females think that's like,
No, most females don't think that. They're wishing
oh
for
my.
it, but they don't think that they're going to meet a black guy who's a baller because realistically, as you get older, you realize half these black men didn't go to college, half these black men don't have themselves together, and they all got kids. So it doesn't, that's not reality. What you should be looking at is the man's character. Period. What's the character of the person you're with? He could be making
He said,
50,000, but you get with him and now he can make 6 figures because he has the right character. You guys have the right chemistry to build something together. So
most of the cases with Kevin Samuel, those women left their dudes because of their own decisions, and a lot of it was because
we
they
don't
got
know
bored.
why. Well, we don't know why they left. They did for whatever reason they were
Look.
happy.
I would look. Kevin would just have the conversation. You guys, well, why you not with your first husband? Oh, it was because I wasn't ready, and I was just, I just wanted to just do my thing. But you're okay to have a baby by him?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
was
that's
okay to
because
have.
he put those type of women on his show.
He don't
I
put
wish he would
like
have put me on
they.
his show because I would have given him a run for his money. I would have
Oh,
told
I
him
would have
about,
loved to
hey,
see that.
don't tear people down, lift people up. We'd be talking about a totally
And then he
different subject.
Right. But then he would have changed the conversation and then asked like, "Are you married?" Like, you know what I
Well, but
mean? If it,
that's irrelevant. Like he dealt with the wrong women on there. He put people on there that were a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Maybe, I
no,
don't know.
I don't think so.
I didn't watch the show like that enough.
I've seen him cut a lot of women who was obnoxious, who just too much. I've seen him cut a lot of those women off. I've seen him cut dudes off who like come up there and he like, bro, this is just for the ladies. All the women, this is just a woman podcast tonight, right? And the dudes, he'll cut them off the show. Like so it's not like he's just malicious with, like what he was doing. Sometimes you have to watch the content to understand where he's coming from, and that's sometimes like that's what negates that's what break up relationships a lot of the time, right? Because certain people in relationships would think a certain way and they're not open to at least understand, right? And that's something that's like it's so weird, crazy to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That like this comment, right? We go read this comment. It's selfish to have a baby without a stable man to be a father, right? Another person said it is selfish to sleep with a man before marriage, but modern women don't care.
True facts.
Kids are too expensive to deal, and a lot of women won't let stepdad discipline her kid. It's a bigger headache to deal with that. Most men won't deal with that. And that's coming from men, right?
Yeah,
We're not
because it really depends on the woman. It really depends on the woman. There's a lot of men who are stepdads and they love their role and they love their stepchildren and they love their wife to death. And that's what we need to be embracing, not the negative. Because there's so many kids that need stepdads, that need fathers out there, including half the men who are saying all this negative stuff. That's how I look at it. I always look at the positive side and I look at, hey,
So
how
you
can
think
we.
it's negative to tell a woman that your expectations are too high?
No, I think it's negative for people to assume that every woman who has children has drama, number one, or that
If she's not
they.
with the father, yeah, she has drama.
Yeah, that's wrong.
No, because some people's fathers have died. Some people's fathers have died. Some people's fathers are in prison. Some people's fathers, they found out that, he was gay and he chose a different life. You guys, there's all different type of situations that women go through. Some women find out that the man was beating on her and she didn't want her kids to see that. So there's always different circumstances. You have to find out what it is, you know? Um,
But the majority rules, right?
But it's still some type of drama, and regardless of whatever situation you in with it, it's still some type of drama. Because
I don't know. I can't.
But
I
I can say,
don't know because everybody doesn't have the same story. There's
but I
great step
from
parenting
experience,
situations.
because I've been in both of the situations that you are saying. Like I have stepkids on my own. You feel me? I don't call them my stepkids, but I call them my actual kids. But I've been in it. But even though the that I have them, there's still drama. It's because you either still have to deal with the drama of the father, or
Which
when
is alive.
the
Yeah.
kids get older, and how they take to you once they realize, okay, you're not their biological father. Even
Yeah.
if when you raise that child, since that child was either 6 years old or younger. You feel me? It's like, or when they get older and they start resenting you because they didn't have their own father in the issue. Because, like, as we speak right now, I'm going through big issues because of being a stepfather to a child that didn't even respect me, or because her father, her
Facts.
own biological father,
But you
disrespected
living up under my roof. I'm paying the bills. I'm feeding you.
her.
You know what I mean? Like,
No,
come
I
on,
mean
man.
that's
Like,
got to
me
be
and your
tough.
mom
Trust me, I
handle this.
understand. That's got to be tough.
My
Just
child,
like it's tough for
my
women to
my
deal with.
kid's big sister, right? My kid's big sister. Her father, I helped raise her since she was 8 years old. By the time she got to like 13, 14 years old, she wanted to go visit her real father. We had a good relationship. I used to sit with this girl when she cried, help her with her homework, do everything. Her father hit a switch in her biological father hit a switch in her and ruined my whole relationship.
Wow.
Because because she went to go visit him First of all, he had a wife. He had another wife and kids. She couldn't go sit on the couch because he let that woman disrespect her, call her all types of bitches and hoes. But she was supposed to come spend time with him for the summer. Came back and she just changed. She wasn't never the same. And me, I was, even though she was my stepchild from 8 years old, I still wasn't allowed to discipline because she had a father, but her father didn't give a fuck about her. And not being able to talk to her and make her stop doing certain things, that put a big old strain on the relationship. And because she was able to wild out, and then she was able to start putting other things in my other kids' head because she felt like, okay, my daddy don't give a fuck about me, so your daddy just shouldn't give a fuck about y'all. And she grew up with a lot of resentment and hate, which over the years brought pain into my life as we speak right now that I have to deal with because of a child that's not even my biological child. And I have to deal with the kids that I have now, which love all my kids love each other. But because of the drama in these situations, like my son, his father was in prison for a while and then he died. So it messes with your head, even if you try to step in to be a father. It's not easy. It's drama. No,
I was gonna say
you just gotta be.
I hate that you went through that, and I'm sorry you went through that. And here's what I can say about step parenting. I honestly believe that in the climate that we're in right now, it is hard to be a parent, period, even to your own children. So it's such a blessing to be something to someone in their life, even when they don't appreciate it. Because you know who gets the glory from that? God gets the glory from your life when you sow a seed into someone who doesn't even deserve it, right? It's
Yeah.
tough, it's hard, but guess what? God gets the glory out of your life because that person can be 40, 50 years old and have kids on their own and come to you and say, you know what? I remember when I was younger and I didn't treat you right. And I praise God that you were in my life. And I praise God that you kept loving on me. Do you know how that might make you feel?
Yeah.
You don't understand it right now because you're in the hills and the valleys. But trust me, when you sow good seeds, those things come back to you. What you reap, you sow. And when you sow those good seeds, especially in the kids that aren't yours, there's a greater reward.
But you
And
spend
that's
8
what
years
people
doing
miss.
it.
That's what people miss because they're so into like, well, the baby daddy, this and that. But it's that like you said, that person's jacked up and their dad jacked them up. But imagine you staying the course, right? And being that role model and loving on them even when they don't deserve it, just like you love your own kids, even when they don't deserve it. There's a blessing in that.
Yeah,
And that's what needs to be taught to our men and our women who take on other men's kids, right? Because that's drama too. Women feel the same way.
It's
We're
not
like,
as much drama though. It's not as
yeah,
much
oh, it's
drama on the
worse.
men's
It's
side.
worse because women
No,
are
you know
nasty.
why? Because men can control it. Men can control that factor. We can
No,
say
some
because
men
I
cannot
can.
because women be doing
You know
some
why? Because I
messed
can
up
say
stuff.
no. See, that's
No,
the
women
thing.
do some trifling stuff. She'll come over your house, knock on the door, starting drama, talking about, "Hey, these your kids. You're gonna take care of these kids," and they'll dump the
Right, but
kids
that's a
off.
ghetto bitch. But
Well,
we're
no,
not talking
Shit.
about.
what I'm
Hey, let
telling
my
you
baby
is,
mama do that. She'll never see the
Yeah,
kids
But
again.
what I'm
right,
saying is
right.
women have
I
it
want
tough
my kids.
too. Women have it tough too. It's not just the men. I'm just saying it's both ways. But when we look at the bigger picture and the end result, which is you're doing something for someone who some that didn't have someone to love them enough to do it. There's a blessing in that. Yes,
Yeah,
it's tough.
Right,
Yes,
but
it
it's
that's
is
the
tough.
because
Yes,
thing.
you
it's
do it because you
hard.
have to do that and raise your own kids at the same time and let them know
Right.
that you love them just as
But the
Correct.
much
whole
as you
point.
love the rest of them.
Right,
Correct.
but the whole point is that what would
The
you rather
drama,
do?
Huh?
huh?
In the drama. What would you rather do in the drama? Most men wouldn't take that on. I look
Yeah,
at like
a lot of men
And
wouldn't.
a lot of women don't
like
take it on now either. They be like, "Oh, how old's your kids?" And as soon as you say, "Oh,
shit.
5
I
and
know
8," they're like,
shit. Shit, man. I got 10 cousins right now that got 3, 4 baby mamas. They take on that shit. Females right now take on the nigga. Come on, man.
maybe
It's
because
not
they're
the same for
desperate. I don't
dudes.
know. It
No, it's
depends on
not.
the
It's not the
woman.
same for dudes as it is for women. It's a total difference. Like
Yeah, because usually the
when
dude don't have the kid full time, so you ain't got to deal with it.
unless he gets with another woman and have his own family. And so he has
No,
that.
I'm saying like if you meet a guy and he has kids, chances are the kids aren't with him full time anyway, so you don't have to deal with it. That but women, trust me, they talk about that stuff too. They are
You know
talking
how
about like,
many
I don't want to be dealing with nobody who got kids. I don't want to be dealing with where's his baby mama live? Is he still sleeping with her?
unless you got look, see, there's exceptions though with women. There's exceptions with women though. See, that's the thing. Women got
There's
exceptions. Their
exceptions with men
emotion.
too.
No,
Listen. That was that's how my baby.
you know, you right. It is. Pussy.
See, my baby mama told my wife. She said, I don't even see how you help him take care of my kids, or you even allow him to do this. I wouldn't even make him breakfast or did nothing. I wouldn't have did nothing of that. He would have had to take care of his kids by himself. And then she told her, she said, but we're a couple, we're together. Why wouldn't I help him with his kids? And his kids is my kids. Like
that's right. Everybody has a different mindset with stuff like that.
Yeah, and see, but I
it's
see
rare
that
though.
pure stupidity and evilness.
That's right.
That's
right.
why that's still too stupid. Like I ain't gonna lie. To this day, I hate this bitch.
Well, you shouldn't hate anybody.
No.
You're supposed to pray for her.
No. I didn't know
Do
what
you hate the devil, Miss Cat? Do you hate the devil?
You pray for her. You know
Miss
why?
Cat,
Because
Miss Cat, do
you pray
hate the
for
devil?
her, Ray Ray. Because
Miss
God
Cat,
can
do
change
you hate
anybody.
the devil?
I didn't know what it was.
Hey, hold on, Ray Ray. Miss Cat, do you hate the devil?
I don't hate anyone.
You ain't been.
He's not. It's a spirit. Do you
I'm
hate
just saying
the
I
devil?
don't hate anyone.
Or anything, or any spiritual being? You don't
I
hate
don't hate
demons?
anyone.
You don't
What
hate
we're
demons?
supposed to do is pray for them.
Do you hate
Pray for
demons?
those who do evil to you. Pray for those who despitefully use you. Pray for those. Pray for them
I do not
because
like.
guess
I
what?
do
When
not
you
like
do
the
that, when
devil.
you pray
I
for
don't
your
like. I hate
enemies,
the
they
motherfucker.
become less and
Nigga.
less important in your life.
Matter of fact, I hate pickles on my motherfucking burger. Do not put
Just take
pickles on
them
my
off. You
burger.
ain't
I
gotta hate
hate
them.
that
Just
shit.
remove them.
No, I
But
hate.
look,
See,
how you gonna remove them when that's your baby mama?
No, I'm not.
No.
we're
I'm
talking
just
about
no.
pickles.
I was talking about the burger, but go ahead. My
You
bad.
don't have to
Because
remove them. You
look,
know what?
look.
You know what you can do, Ray Ray? Guess what? You know what? If you want to calm that situation down, when you see her the next time, go, do you mind if I pray with you for a second? You see, you're laughing, but do you see how that will change the atmosphere? Every time you see her, sincerely say to her, do you mind if I pray with you for a second? And
Listen,
she's gonna be like, go on somewhere with that. The next
that's
time
the
you see her,
devil. That's the
you see her, you
listen.
go, do you mind if I pray with you for a second? You
And
have to create your own atmosphere. You have to change that.
listen,
I'm telling
I
you.
don't care what I did to change that. That motherfucker's the devil. That motherfucker's the devil. She came over my house and seen that I was living better.
Just try it.
Listen, she came over my house and seen that I was living better than her. And that
Jealousy.
and I had the kids on point. And she said, oh, you trying to outdo me?
That's jealousy. Why are you surprised?
You trying to do this? What? Oh, you Stevie? What's up, Stevie J? Because she just always call me Stevie. Oh, you want to? But I told her like, yo, I ain't with all that no more. I ain't with all that negativity and stuff. I was going to school to be an electrician at the time, and she just hated it. She like really hated. Oh, what? Oh, well, just give me the tickets. I'm taking my kids to Legoland. All of them ain't going. Them ain't my kids.
What she call you? What she call you?
Stevie J? Stevie J in the short bus.
The thing is, it doesn't matter what she says or does.
No, but you got to realize
when
she
you
was doing
pray
things.
for your enemies, watch how things will change. I promise you.
Right.
I promise you.
Girl, I've been praying for that girl since then. That girl has sent me to a damn mental hospital. That's how bad I've been praying for this goddamn woman. That woman has sent me crazy.
Just have evil spirits, Miss Cat.
She
You just can't
evil.
change it.
She's been
people just
you're right. We can't
but
change
look,
it.
but see, I didn't look at the pattern. I seen the pattern, but I didn't look at it. Okay, your dad did the same thing with your mom. Now your daughter's doing the same thing with me. Wait, hold on. You finally get with a man that actually cares about his kids, and the kids that you had before me, their dad didn't give a fuck. But you get with a man like me,
there's a solution.
But you get a man like me, and you still keeping the cycle. You should have broke the cycle with me. Because regardless of me and you not together, I did one thing, and I still made sure I take care of my kids. I had my kids for 2 years living with me, just all my kids. It was the most beautiful thing in my life, having all my kids under one roof, living with me. We had everything. I'm talking about they had their own car, motorcycles, bikes, and everything. And I lost my mind when she took my kids from me. I actually let her, thinking that we was gonna, still co-parent, get my kids, but that's what drove me crazy. But her ignorancy of not breaking the cycle when she seen that she had a good dude. She knew that she can call me at any time. Yo, I need such and such. Okay, here you go. The kids need this. Here you go. Whatever they needed, I got it. When she gave me the kids, she gave me 4-5 trash bags of old stanky ass clothes. Well, okay, I threw all that shit away, went bought all brand new outfits. Their first day with me, I spent $3,000. They ain't even made it home yet. Cause I had to buy them all new outfits. And living like that's talking about, but you take a good nigga and you make him evil. And I literally didn't know what hate was until I got to that point where she just make me to this day hate her fucking guts.
Well,
Would I tell you?
that.
Would you believe? Would you believe? Would you believe that most women make pimps or make evil men? That they literally get it. You know what I mean? Would you believe that?
Hell fucking yeah. Listen,
Well, I have to get
listen,
going, you guys. It's like 1 a.m.
I didn't have no
Oh
problem.
yes, it is. I'm sorry. I'm
I
see.
used to
I'm
not- I
look.
won't put
Look.
my hand on a woman.
Hold on. We go. Hold on. Stay right there. Wait. 1 second. We're gonna get into the after hours. I'm sorry, Miss Cat. I'm over here tipsy. I got coffee. I got my weed and shit. I'm like parlaying and shit. I'm sorry, Miss Cat. I know you. People, we usually go an hour and a half. We have went too long with Miss Cat. People, thank y'all so much for tuning in. We finna get into the after hours. But Miss Cat, thank you so much. And we do need the blessings. And we're glad that you're able to, keep that good prosperity, you know what I mean?
Positive energy.
But I'm hopefully we gonna break this, doctrine, you know what I mean? Because I believe we're spiritual beings that should operate as one. And our bodies is an organ, just like I mean, our skin is an organ just like our eyes and everything in our body, which is godlike, godlike fact that we are made of atoms and everything around us is God. You know what I mean? So, like, ye are gods on earth. But I really thank you for bringing that, you know what I mean, for keeping that message here. And, you know what I mean? We go, keep this going next Monday. But I definitely want to chop it up with you. I'll call you tomorrow. We go chop it up or whatever. But thank you so much, Miss Cat. I really appreciate it.
I was Cat.
Bye.
Gasmasktribe
Have
TV
a good night.
podcast where we filter out that bull. Gang, we in the after hours, people. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. It's this where we get to talking shit. Yo, I'm gonna put the link down and below. Y'all can comment. Also, y'all can chime in. Let's have the convo. Yo, what was you saying though? About what I mean, how she hateful?
Oh nah, she just hateful. She's hateful and she made me hate her because of the things that she have done. Because the way that she have alienated me from my kids. And the way that my kids know one thing. I love them. I love my kids. I really do love my kids. That's what I
That's a
always
nice
wanted
shirt.
in my life, to be with my kids. You feel me?
That's a nice shirt.
Thank
nice shirt. Man, you actually got dressed, man. Okay. Okay. We got shaved them, you know what I mean? What you wearing? A C cup, B cup? What? And I kind of look, bro, there's this little girl that comes to our house. Her mom let her come over, and she's only like maybe 3 or 2, and she plays with my daughters. And sweet girl though, sweet, this little girl is like very very sweet, right? And her mom is a sweet lady, you know what I mean? And she's a what you call that? She's a ballet dancer, she does a lot of jazz and things like that or whatever. and she has a
Okay.
kid. But the dad has another girl. He's over in I believe in the South. He has another chick, and I just didn't get it. Like I'm like, oh, what dude in his right mind? Like he must not be thinking in his right mind because like I'm gonna be real, like niggas that save the baby's ugly, yeah. Niggas be like, yeah, it's ugly baby. I'm about to deny that, but you know what I mean. The little girl's very adorable. You know what I mean? Very adorable, and she's like the sweetest little button on the planet. I mean, I could tell that she got that from a good family. You know what I mean? Like her family, you could tell they're a good family because of how sweet she is, and her mom's adorable people. And she was saying, my wife was telling me how like cheese man, we call that the news, the gossip. But it was just saying how like the dad just don't care. Like he just don't care. And I'm like, how could like that's just foul, my nigga. Oh, you huh?
You muted me?
I muted you because you was moving your phone and shit, and that shit was like
I wasn't even mute my phone. I wasn't even touching my phone. So that's on
no,
your
I
end.
muted it. I know I did because he was moving it. He was moving the phone. But yeah, I didn't
Oh,
understand that, man. I thought that was very mean, man. Like how dudes like there are really some fuck boys out here, my guy.
oh, it
That
is.
who would look like who would literally negate. And I get it, situations are situations, but I mean, come on, man. Like you have a little like you got a little butterbean out here. You know what I mean? Who's roaming the earth
Without no guidance.
without no guidance. You know what I mean? Like
Like I
that's
believe you. I don't
really
care. I believe you need both. You need a every kid needs a mom and a dad. Even if they're not
yeah,
together, they
that's
need them in
facts.
their life. They
That's
need the
facts.
mom and they need the dad in their life. Even if they're
Yeah,
not together. Just to show that child that I love you.
right,
Or
right.
just to teach them the things that you do know.
Oh, you
Now,
know what you think about the guys that be like I call these fuckboy ass motherfuckers too. These niggas who are like have a whole another relationship, right? And even though they'll know they have kids, but they got a new woman, new kid coming along, and they solely on that. They won't even see the other kid. They don't want to erase that, let it be gone, right?
yeah, I agree with you on that. That's some real fuckboy shit.
It's
Because
some real
look,
fuck.
you're not a man if you don't take care of your kids. I don't even like you can't even be my friend if you don't take care of your kids. I don't even want to be around you. You can't take care of your kids. I look down upon you. I don't consider you a man. I don't
Okay,
consider you.
okay. Let's even bring it down to lower terms, right? That's too much consciousness for a motherfucker, right? That's too conscious right there. Let's bring it down lower. Spend some time with them.
Yeah, especially if you can. Especially if you can, because I know like a lot of people are going through situations where their baby mama won't even they ain't even able to spend time with their kids, or your baby mama brainwashing the kids, or making them feel like, oh, if you love your daddy's a piece of shit. But if you love me, don't talk to him. Why are you talking to him? He ain't shit. And putting shit in the father's head when you have actual fathers like me that's out there trying to get back with their kids and know them. And because my kids, like my other kids, they're big now. They're older, 13 and up. And that's the biggest thing with me. I can't see that because the way that I fight so hard to try to stay in my kids' life or just to be in their life. You feel me? So when I see people like that, I just look at them. You ain't a man. You a straight fuck boy.
Like
You
I
a
get
bitch.
it, like and you're right because I understand. Cool, she got kids already, but that's like for a single nigga who may not have any kids and shit, right? And he may meet a chick and be like, "Yo, how you doing?" Blah, blah. She start unveiling like, "Yeah, I got kids," and blah blah blah. You know what I mean? I could see how he may not take that upon, but that's not his fault. All right.
Yeah.
That's not his fault. Just because you won't take that on, like you ain't no less of a nigga.
Nah,
You ain't
nah.
no devalue. No, nigga, that's her shit, nigga. That's what she got. You just don't want to deal with no baby daddies. You know what I mean? All type of shit.
Now,
And so I'm just
I'm
talking to
talking
them.
about if you're on your own kids, not somebody
No,
else's
no, no.
kids.
Right. Now for the guy who's dealing, who may have the female who like got kids and she out meeting other dudes, right? You got to correct that. Like honestly, bro, I tell you this. I feel I'm honestly, I think most niggas, well, dudes who do that, who don't spend that time with their kids or don't want to spend that time with their kids, you know what I mean? I think it's really on them. Like it's a fucked up issue. On their side though. Not you know, not on the woman's side. Like if you just don't want to spend no time with your kid, like just don't fuck them. Don't fuck them.
Yep.
He said, UKTA said, not my job to deal with someone else's kid. Yep. You damn right.
See, if that's not what you want to do, deal with somebody else's kid, that's understandable. That's not what I'm saying in my point. In that point, I'm saying
No, no,
deal
no, no,
with
no,
your
no. I
own
was just
kid.
moving it. Right. I was moving it. You know what I mean? I'm just talking about what would be a fuck boy and what wouldn't be a fuck boy. Because even though we was talking earlier about how um it was mentioned that he's selfish for thinking for himself to say, I don't want to deal with that woman because she got kids. Knowing that the woman could be possibly his wife, he ain't trying to know, well, possibly my wife. My wife wouldn't probably have kids. You know what I mean? A motherfucker choose to do that shit. You know what I mean? Like men have access to relationships and women have access to sex. Right? And that's the thing that women want relationships and men want sex. You get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that even exchange is what kind of makes the world go around. It's just that society has a thought process that's influenced by a certain way of thinking. You know what I mean? Like the cheating rate wasn't as crazy as it is now as it was back then in the 60s and 50s and shit. Right? The cheating rate wasn't. Now it's high. Now it's like on some crazy shit.
I don't know because a lot of that was unpredicted. Because if you look in our family members, we got a lot of offsprings that are not even with the mama. So I don't know. So I don't know what you're saying on that because some of the men that I know have 4 or 5 different baby mamas, and some of the women in our family got 5, 6 different baby daddies. You frozen? Yeah, that's a lot of damn kids. You know that especially. So I don't know about that cheating. Nah, I think the ratio probably it's just more. It's just more. What's the word I'm looking for? Documented now. And Biz, if you hear me, you frozen. But yeah, it's more documented now. So I think back then it was probably the same. It's just more, and right now they make it more they try to make it more popular, like it's a cool thing to do. Like, look at me, this is what I've been doing. When really it's not, because you're really downing our women. Our women are downing themselves by just running out there with any other nigga and this one and that one when they really downsizing their value, when they're really queens and princesses. But yeah, I don't see it like that because being selfish is not taking care of your own kids. Now, if you meet a woman and she got kids and you decide that, oh, I don't want to deal with this, then that's the best thing to do because you already know that, yo, I don't want no kids and I'm just gonna be to myself. I don't really consider that selfish. You just know what you want to do. Now, trying to be with a woman and think that you're gonna be with a woman and not have to be with her kids as well, or at least be there for them as well, then that's selfish. Because if you're in a relationship with a woman, you're in a relationship with her kids too. So, but if you decide to, oh, she got kids, I'm not going to deal with her, then that's cool. That's more honorable than being with a woman and not want to be there for her and her kids, because you have to look at the big picture. wherever she have to take care of them kids. She have to show them kids love. She have to
Yeah.
spend time with them. So if she's with you, what you gonna do? You're just gonna be sitting up there because there's a lot of people who do get into relationships, and I believe that that's why they end up beating somebody else's kid to death because they didn't want to be in a relationship anyway. They just wanted to be with the woman. Oh, she fine as hell. I want to be with her. And then you get this shit on the news. Stepdad. No, not stepdad. Mom's boyfriend kills other man's kills her fucking child or beats her child to death. Like, first of all, bitch, what type of woman is you? You gonna let this nigga beat your child? You gonna let this motherfucker beat your child to death? Discipline your child to where he's doing that now? And that's wrong. I don't believe in that shit. I don't believe in that shit at all. I don't believe in violence towards kids. I believe in whooping that ass though, but I don't believe in no violence towards them.
I mean, once in a while, like I generally stopped all that once. After about like, I think they deserve a little pop out. I call it pop out. You want to pop out? You know what I mean? I give them a little, when they're about like maybe 3, 4 to about maybe 5, you know what I mean? But like after that, man, you should just be able to talk to him, man. You should be able to just talk to the kid and straighten him out like that way. You know what I mean? You shouldn't have to. Well, I'm not talking about you, but I'm just talking about people, right? Parents. We shouldn't. And don't get me wrong. There is a time, like, because sometimes they don't understand words. We're talking at 3, 4, 2 age. You get what I mean? So you might have to like pop out like on a little hand or something, like don't touch that, blah blah. Because they don't really understand the emotional factor of the words yet. But as they get about maybe 6, 7, 8, man, I haven't popped my child like since my oldest daughter was like
By then
was
they should know
she
something. But
11.
at least by 10 they shouldn't be having to get no more whoopings. But if you teach them, if
10.
you teach,
Shit, man. If look, 10, 10, shit. I am not trying to do that shit by 7. I am trying to just be
but
able to
see,
like
if
look,
you teach them
don't
when they're young, if you teach them when they're young, then no, you shouldn't. Because you got to remember, some of them, you do got some. It's the boys mostly, because them motherfuckers hard headed as hell. Boys can be hard headed. The girls, they just sneaky. The girls sneaky as hell. You got to really be up on them because them little motherfuckers got some game for that ass.
yeah, they got some game for that ass. They will get you, nigga. You go get got. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
plus, like especially if you like me, like I'm a weak when it comes to my daughters. I am weak, and they be like, "No, Dad, you be hard on us." Blah blah blah. I'm like, man, y'all have no idea. I am so weak with you guys. Like, you guys could damn near breathe on something. I'll find a way to make sure it's yours. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you know what I mean. But I know, most men are not gonna do that. For them. So I let them know, like, don't expect this. You know what I mean? But just understand this. I'm your dad. You know what I mean? And the discipline between them is rectified by having a conversation. Like, yo,
See,
take this out. Go ahead.
and I see it's just like me. I believe that, especially with your girls, when they're young, give them the little pow pow, whoop their little ass, but don't get them to the point to where they feel like a man is supposed to beat on them, so they grow up thinking a man is supposed to whoop their ass. See,
Fact.
that's how I am. I'm like, okay, you're gonna get your ass whooped when you wrong, when you have done some wrong. Yeah, I'm gonna whoop your ass, but I'm not raising you to think that a man is supposed to beat on you. So I'm gonna whoop you. I'm gonna whoop you. That's it. But I'm not gonna, after a while, it's like you have to calm down because you got to remember you are a man. So most of the time, all you have to do, because especially you're the father, is look at me or raise your voice and give them that lion roar, and they're gonna back the hell down. They're
Yeah, you're
gonna
right.
back down. Yeah, they're gonna back down for the simple fact of what? That, oh, that's daddy, and they already know what you're gonna do. They know what you can do.
He said UKTA said the last woman. Well, he didn't say the, but last woman I dated that had kids, I loved her. But once she realized I was parenting them, she sat back and didn't help raise them to the point I got tired of no help and left her. Wow.
Wow. I
That's
want some
deep.
insight on that one.
That's deep.
So she just said and sat back, but she was letting you be the father.
You know,
Now, when you say no help, I want to know what do you mean by fully no help? Like she wasn't helping doing nothing no more, or she was just letting you be the man? Did you take it the wrong way? Like, what was really going on in that one? Yeah, because what she just sat back and say, "Oh, I'm gonna let him handle this and handle this," or be the man of the house, or because I need more insight on that one. Hit me. Let me know what you're talking about on that one, because that sounds crazy. The last woman. Yeah, I'm going in here to have to read a little bit more. I'll wait for you to post something else on that. Biz, you having difficulties again, but dang, that's crazy. She just sat back. The last woman that I dealt with. Uh, so what? But you left her and you still loved her. And well, how did you feel about the kids? How can you just leave? You was being a father figure in their life. So what was going on with that? Like did you end up tying a bond with them? Because that seemed like it's something hard to do once you start disciplining and being a father figure in their life, and you just bounce. Let me see. She wasn't changing diapers, cooking, cleaning, nothing. She just sat back. Whoa. Oh, okay. Did you talk to her about that? Like, yo, yo, I need some help, man. Why you just sitting back? You ain't changing the diaper. You ain't doing that. So you said about changing diapers. So you must be talking about a young baby. The baby with the baby was like 1, 2, 3, 5. Because yeah, that sounds crazy. She wasn't even changing the diaper, doing nothing like that. She just gave up. That's crazy. But how did you feel when you left her though? Did you build a bond, or was y'all just in a fresh new relationship? Something that just started and y'all was still holding on to it. 'Cause that's crazy. Cause I know I've been in a relationship with when I was younger with other women before I had my own kids that had kids, and I know for me to break off with them, it was hard. I had got in some trouble and we had to go our own separate ways. But even though that I broke up, I still had to bond with that. I still had to bond with them kids, and it felt some type of way, 'cause especially when they see me out or somewhere else, and especially I was with a new woman at the time. It made me feel awkward. It made me feel like, oh damn, like I kind of abandoned them. So I'm wondering why. How did you feel? Hit me back on that. Hit me back. Let me go right back here and see what you're saying. Uh oh. All right, here we go. Oh no, no. Uh,
Yo, yo, can you hear me?